This page is the front cover of a Dreamcast Magazine issue, dated February 9, 2001, and priced at 790 yen. It highlights a special Dorimaga GD trial version included with the magazine, which is stated as a must-see. The cover features prominent artwork and text, focusing on Shenmue 2 and 100 Swords. The page announces scoops related to NAOMI 2 games, including the latest title, Wild Riders. It also mentions over 20 new Dreamcast titles to be revealed, including Space Channel 5 and Kuru Kuru Onsen 2. The cover promotes Dorimaga GD Volume .10 and lists featured game specials including Shenmue 2, 100 Swords, Battle Beaster, Ultimate Fighting Championship, Arrow Dancing Eye, Eldorado Gate Promotion, and Sega Gaga Movie. There are mentions of reader rankings for all Dreamcast titles and the latest overseas information from 2001, including about the Xbox. The page also highlights the release of Shenmue the Movie, with scoop footage from events. Featured in the issue are articles on Shenmue 2, Canvas Sepia-Colored Motif, Pia Carat EU Koso, 2.5, Macross M3, and Arrow Dancing On. The magazine includes a contest to win 100,000 yen with the game Illbleed, and a special interview project with Sonic Team President Yuji Naka, discussing the mysteries of Phantasy Star Online Part 2. Finally, Fighting Vipers 2 is mentioned along with other titles like Golf Shiuyo 2, Ara Tanaru Chosen, Eco the Dolphin, Tee-Off Golf, Sakatsuku Tokudai Gao, J-League Professional Soccer Club Wotsukuru, Giga Wing 2, and Guilty Gear X. This page is the contents page for Dreammaga GD Volume .10, a special disc included in the magazine. The disc features demos and movies for games like Shenmue 2, 100 Swords, Battle Beaster, Ultimate Fighting Championship, Arrow Dancing Eye, Eldorado Gate, and Sega Gaga. The magazine also contains articles on Shenmue 2, Illbleed's 100,000 yen challenge, Phantasy Star Online Part 2, and previews for upcoming Dreamcast titles such as 100 Swords, Canvas, Pia Carat, EU Koso, 2.5, Macross M3, and Arrow Dancing It. This page is the contents page of the magazine, outlining the featured articles and games. The Dreamcast Hot Information section highlights upcoming titles including Eldorado Gate Volume 3, Street Fighter 03, Saikyoryu Dojo for matching service, Powerjet Racing 2001 known internationally as Wave Runner, Blue Storm, and the unreleased title Close to Inori no Oka. The Dreamcast Soft Complete Guide section lists a range of Dreamcast games covered, such as Fighting Vipers 2, the Japan-exclusive Let's Golf 2 New Challenge, Ultimate Fighting Championship, Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, Giga Wing 2, Daytona USA 2001, the Japan-only Sega Professional Soccer Club, Guilty Gear X, Project Justice, and the Japan-only Doraemon, Nobita to 3, Tsu no Seirei Ishi. An alphabetical game index is also provided for easy navigation. The bottom left image features artwork for the game 100 Swords. The 13th Next Generation World Hobby Fair in Tokyo, a family-friendly event, featured attractions like Pokemon battles, Dangan Racer, and a Doraemon balloon linked to the new movie. Sega showcased its new Dreamcast game, Boku Doraemon, and is taking a firm stance against Dreamcast software piracy by modifying hardware to prevent the use of boot discs. A notable feature was the Mobile Adapter GB, which showcased its capability by giving away Celebi. In exciting news for US gamers, Sega of America is rumored to be releasing a compilation disc of Genesis/Mega Drive classics, including titles like Sonic the Hedgehog and Streets of Rage 2. The sidebar also teases upcoming events, including the Tokyo Game Show 2001 Spring and various product releases. This page details several gaming news items. It starts with the announcement of new iMode mobile phones from NTT Docomo that support Java-based game applications. Screenshots show games like Pac-Man, a ninja-themed game, and a Gundam title playable on these phones. There's a listing of game makers and titles available for download, including Sega's Sonic Cafe and Namco's Pac-Man. The page also announces the Tokyo Game Show 2001 Spring event, with Bill Gates giving a keynote speech on March 30th. Another event highlighted is for the mobile game Arrow Dancing It to celebrate its release, featuring tournaments called National Dogfight Championship 2001 and Mission Strategy Operation. The GameSpot section discusses how the delay of Gran Turismo 3 is affecting software purchase plans, but notes excitement for new Game Boy Advance titles and Java-compatible iMode phone games from Sega and Namco. Finally, the News Access section ranks top news from GameSpot, including Capcom developing Street Fighter Alpha 3 for Dreamcast, the initial Game Boy Advance model, Gran Turismo 3 Aspects April release, a report from the 13th Next Generation World Hobby Fair, and news about Inoue Toro and Hirayama Aya co-starring in a commercial. The next page features several news items and events. Firstly, there's an announcement about a special Dreamcast Nepachi bundle. This set includes the Dreamcast console, visual memory unit, and the Nepachi VI game itself, along with entry to 125 online tournaments. It is priced lower than usual and is available exclusively through Dreamcast Direct. Next, there is information about the new Spring Daiji Chariot Festival event held in Ikebukuro, Tokyo. This event included stage shows and a Daijiko shrine, and featured a mini-live performance by the group Black Gema Jema Dan. An event titled Angelique and Harukanaru Toki no Naka Day Neo Romance Festa in Osaka is also announced. This Osaka event, happening in March, will feature voice actors, talk shows, singing, and merchandise sales, continuing after a successful event in Yokohama in November. In service news, Hisao.net is now offering fixed-rate IP connection services for Dreamcast broadband users, making online games like Phantasy Star Online more accessible. Finally, there is a spotlight on Namco Namja Town, which is running an annual passport campaign until January 31st. Prizes include a trip to Hawaii and Jumbo Najavu plush toys.
There's also a brief amusement theme park access guide providing access information for various locations.
Upcoming events include the Love Hina trading card game release by Broccoli on February 22nd, with starter boxes and booster packs. D-Direct is expanding their strategy guide section. The 13th Next Generation World Hobby Fair is on January 28th in Osaka, featuring Sega Toys' Boku Doraemon game. A Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000 tournament is on January 27th. A Caramel Pot photo exhibition runs until January 28th. Giveaways include a Criminal Psychology Investigator DVD box set and the PC version of Sakura Wars 2.
Color's fourth maxi single is also featured.
Capcom has a Gigawing 2 wallpaper campaign with a prize drawing. Warner Music Japan released the maxi single Rav and Business, Anata wo Aisuru Watashi wo Aisazu, which contains 2 songs and is the ending theme for a TV program. The next page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Golf Shiyuyo 2 New Challenge, which is subtitled The Golf Game in English. The advert features a large group of diverse cartoon characters who are presumably playable in the game. The text highlights that this is the definitive Dreamcast golf game, boasting new characters and online multiplayer. It also mentions the use of Bridgestone sports balls and clubs for a super realistic play experience.
The game is priced at 5,800 yen.
The Weekly Data Station presents a Dreamcast software sales ranking. Topping the chart at number 1 is Phantasy Star Online, Sega RPG, with estimated sales of 8,277 units for the period and a total of 1,832,000. Following are Sakatsuku Tokudai Gao, Sega Soccer Simulation, Guilty Gear X, Sammy Fighting, Moero, Justice Gakuen, Capcom, Action Fighting, Power Smash, Sega Tennis, Tante Shinshi Dash, Able, Adventure, Gunspike, Capcom, Shooting, Eldorado Gate, Volume 1, Capcom, RPG, Sentimental Graffiti 2, NEC Interchannel, Adventure, and Sakura Taizen 2, Sega, Adventure. The rankings include estimated sales for the period and cumulative totals. Each game description highlights key features, such as online play, competitive elements, and special features. This page presents the Reader's Choice pre-release anticipation ranking top 30 for Dreamcast games. Sakura Wars 3 Is Paris Burning tops the chart at number 1 with 511 points, published by Sega and slated for release on March 22nd. Following in second place is Shenmue 2 with 483 points, also published by Sega and with a release date yet to be determined. Sonic Adventure 2 takes the third spot with 373 points, another Sega title scheduled for release in 2001. The weekly pickup section highlights Pia Carrot e Yukoso.
2.5, ranked 4th, a romance simulation game from NEC Interchannel, scheduled for March release. Ranked at 18th, 100 Swords is featured in the Machine Body Training section, a Sega action strategy game released on February 15th. Other notable titles in the top 10 include Super Robot Tyson Alpha, Sega, EV0 The Arc of the Matter, Mystery Dungeon, Shiren the Wanderer Gaiden Swordswoman, Asuka Comes, and Comic Party. Further down the list are games like Canvas Sepia Color Motif, Illbleed, Gundam Battle Online, Rhapsody of the Loire, Biohazard Code, Veronica Complete Edition, Resident Evil Code, Veronica Complete, and Marie and Elie no Atelier for DC. Tentative title. Ranking provides release dates and publishers for most of the listed games. This page presents 2 game rankings and weekly game spotlights. The Reader's Choice Anticipated Transplant Top 20 list games fans desired on Dreamcast, with Air, PC, topping the list, followed by Nights into Dreams, Sega Saturn, and Shining Force, Sega Saturn. The list includes titles from PC, Sega Saturn, PlayStation, and Neo Geo. The Video Game Income Ranking Top 15 highlights top-earning arcade games, with Sega's Derby Owners Club 2000 in the lead, followed by Virtua Fighter 3 TB and Guilty Gear X. The weekly pickup section spotlights 2 upcoming arcade titles. Rise. Wild Riders is a 2D motorbike action game for the NAOMI2 arcade board, while Air Trekkers is a skateboarding game utilizing a custom arcade board. The Dreamcast saw a flurry of software releases in 2001. February brought titles like The Psychological Game, Metropolis Street Racer, and Fish Eyes Wild, along with various games like Aero Dancing Id and several pachinko titles. March featured Fire Pro Wrestling D, Resident Evil Code, Veronica Complete, and Sakura Wars 3, alongside sports titles like World Series Baseball 2K1. April included Illbleed, Pia Carrot, e Yukoso, 2.5, and Happy Lesson. Later in the year, Eldorado Gate continued with volumes 4, 6, and 7. Winter releases included 5Q no Tomodachi and Ready 2 Rumble Boxing. Round 2. Spring brought Monster Breed and Gundam Battle Online, while summer had the tentative title, As Snow. Hardware releases included a Sega Visual Memory Unit in March and a zip drive, release date unknown. Several games offered special editions or bonuses. The Dreamcast Weekly Reader Ranking, Race 96, presents the top 20 Dreamcast games based on reader votes and average scores. Soul Calibur maintains its top position, followed by Eldorado Gate Volume 1 and Phantasy Star Online. Biohazard Code, Veronica, and Eternal Arcadia complete the top 5. Jet Set Radio, a new entry Hot Horse, is highlighted at rank 10, praised for its cel-shaded graphics, gameplay, and new content. Players enjoy its stylish setting and graffiti mechanics, though some find graffiti controls challenging. Super Street Fighter 2X for Matching Service is another new entry, ranking at 87, lauded for its quality port and online play. Other notable games include Crazy Taxi, Grandia 2, and Sonic Adventure. The page emphasizes the Dreamcast's strong game library and anticipation for future releases. This Dreamcast Weekly Reader Ranking highlights several games. Last Blade Final Edition, a new entry Hot Horse, receives praise for its character design and illustrations, considered a strong action title. Seal It. The reviewer recommends it despite dated graphics, highlighting its superior feel compared to the PS port. Conversely, Cardcaptor Sakura, Tomoyo's video great strategy, a new entry Caution Horse, is seen as potentially confusing or too simplistic despite its cute presentation, though enjoyable for fans. Phantasy Star Online continues to be highly regarded as an attention horse introduction, ranking 3rd and lauded as a pioneering online RPG. Its graphics, sound, story, quest system, and addictive online gameplay are all praised, solidifying its status as a must-play title. This feature reviews 4 Dreamcast games, highlighting their strengths and weaknesses. Samba de Amigo Ver 2000, a rhythm game, is praised for its music and party game appeal, earning high scores. Never 7 The End of Infinity, an adventure game, is lauded for its engaging storylines and character development,
excelling in the visual novel genre. Tante Shinshi Dash, a detective adventure game, offers an immersive experience despite some dated mechanics, praised for its detective gameplay. Daytona USA 2001, a racing game, is deemed decent but not exceptional, with some handling issues. The page also includes a odds table ranking Dreamcast software based on player votes, spanning various genres. This page is all about the acclaimed 2D fighting game, Guilty Gear X, declaring it as a surefire hit for Dreamcast owners. It's highlighted as Dreamcast Meister Selection Volume 54. The article details it as a 2D fighting game from Sammy, released on December 14, 2000, priced at 5,800 yen and supporting 12 players. The feature emphasizes the game's character charm and individuality, praising its deep 2D battles that feel like a true arcade experience. One writer, Ishii Ban, mentions enjoying the fast-paced action and also playing Phantasy Star Online offline. Another section talks about the rewarding challenge of overcoming the game's difficulty. The developers from Sammy, represented by Furuya, share a message inviting players to a Guilty Gear Festival 2001 spring event on February 11th. Reader comments praise the game's depth and replayability, while some mention the sound balance could be better. Secret Scoop information reveals details about the game's website, arcade mode, survival mode, and mentions Sammy's Cup tournament. On the left side, there's a Dreamcast software odds table, ranking games from 133 to 188, listing various titles with their genres and scores. Finally, there's a high score ranking table specifically for the character Jam Kurado Berry. This page continues the Dreamcast software odds table, listing games from rank 189 to 270 with scores and genres. It highlights that this section, titled Odds Table Dreamcast BE Rating, analyzes the middle-ranking BE-rated games, noting the Blue 6 game has significantly risen in popularity to 42nd place, and Detective Jingle Dash to 43rd. The section, Odds Table Dreamcast F Rating, focuses on the lower ranks, mentioning that Cardcaptor Sakura is at 244th. There is also a section titled Future Release Scheduled Software, showcasing upcoming titles still in development, with question marks in place of titles. A screenshot of a girl character with speech bubbles is displayed, and the text around it comments on the goddess-like maidens games and their popularity trends within the rankings, mentioning the phrases goddess-like maiden question maidens and Sakura. This page reviews 3 Dreamcast games: Sakura Wars, Kinematron Hanagumi Mail, Fighting Vipers 2, and Gigawing 2. Fighting Vipers 2 is praised as a solid arcade port, while Gigawing 2, Reflect Force, and Reflect Laser mechanics are highlighted. The Dream Horse Owner's Voice section features reader discussions on various Dreamcast topics. 2 prediction contests are ongoing, one for Handled Sword and another for Eldorado Gate, 3 volumes. Winners of a previous contest, De La Jet Set Radio, are announced. A giveaway offers Dreamcast peripherals. The page concludes with a positive outlook on the upcoming 2001 gaming lineup and instructions on how to enter a reader survey. This page reviews 2 Dreamcast games and previews a third. Eldorado Gate Volume 3, an RPG, scores 7.3310. It offers a compelling story and strategic combat, but the review recommends starting with Volume 1 for full understanding. The Psychology Game, a party game released February 1st, features psychology analysis and battle games for up to 4 players, enhanced by network functionality and simplicity. Lastly, Super Heavy Battle Kikai-O, for Matching Service, a 3D fighting game by Capcom, previews robot battles with online multiplayer for 12 players. The preview praises the action and strategic depth, but acknowledges potential lag, suggesting it's best enjoyed in versus mode. Sega announced 26 new Dreamcast games for 2001, signaling a renewed commitment to the console. Highlights include The House of the Dead 3, Dynamic Golf, and Get Bass 2. Action titles like Alien Front and Outrigger were also featured, along with the highly anticipated Shenmue 2. Network-focused games such as Project Propeller Online, Derby Owners Club Online, and Guru Guru Onsen 2 are mentioned. Other noteworthy titles include Sonic Adventure 2, celebrating the console's 10th anniversary, and sequels like Crazy Taxi 2. The article also previewed Victory Goal 2001 and Space Channel 5, alongside other diverse titles. Mitsuyoshi Takanobu, a prominent sound creator and charisma singer, known for his work at Sega AM2, is moving to hitmaker after a decade-long career. The article highlights his impact on the gaming industry, reflecting on his change of heart and desire for new creative opportunities beyond just games. He expresses gratitude to his AM2 colleagues and boss, while looking forward to exploring new projects. He fondly remembers his contributions to Shenmue, his most memorable work, emphasizing its scope and music, like the Shenmue main theme. He also highlights Daytona USA as a classic, citing its impactful vocals.
While associated with Virtua Fighter, he clarifies his role was primarily voice work. Takanobu concludes with confidence in the arcade industry, stating his return will revitalize it, and urging readers to anticipate his future work.
The next page is titled, Taichu, finally announced Xbox. What will happen this year? This article is an interview with Christopher Kegotani, a journalist from Dreamcast Magazine and other European gaming publications. The topic is the newly announced Xbox, and the discussion centers around its initial reception and potential impact on the gaming industry. Kagotani shares insights into how the Xbox is being received overseas and speculates on its market performance. There's talk about the design of the Xbox, especially its large size, and whether it will resonate with Japanese gamers, who might find it too big for their homes. The article touches on the perception of the Xbox being similar to a PC. The page also details the Xbox specifications in a table. These specs include its release date, price which is yet to be determined, size, an Intel 733 MHz processor, a graphics chip developed with NVIDIA, polygon rendering capabilities, maximum resolution, an 8 GB hard drive, DVD-ROM media, input/output options, 256-channel audio, and features like DVD video playback and HD TV compatibility. In 2001, the games industry saw significant shifts, with Japanese developers assessing the Xbox's impact, particularly its character designs and CGI, and considering the overlapping launches of the GameCube and Xbox. The Xbox's high price and network functionality were points of discussion, complicated by varying broadband penetration between America and Japan. The Dreamcast faced challenges, with poor year-end sales and stock shortages hindering its performance, especially overseas. While the PS2 enjoyed hardware popularity, it suffered from a lack of compelling software, prompting user demand for key titles. The Game Boy Advance's launch marked Nintendo's aggressive push for handheld dominance, while the WonderSwan Color and Bandai sought a comeback. The emphasis was on software over hardware, referencing the Dreamcast's launch and highlighting the importance of a strong software lineup for both the Xbox and the Dreamcast. The growing mobile gaming market was also noted, with NTT Docomo's iMode service. This page showcases the exhilarating motorcycle action game, Wild Riders, from Sega Saturn Entertainment, designed for the Naomi arcade platform. The game emphasizes intuitive handle controls, allowing players to perform wheelies by pulling back and sliding actions by pushing forward, which are essential for navigating obstacles. Keith Raven, a cool biker character described as Burning Hammer, Monster Machine, is featured prominently. The screenshots highlight the fast-paced gameplay, showing in-game ranks, police chases, and clear success and failure states, depending on player performance. It's described as an action race game that anyone can easily enjoy due to its simple handle operation and engaging cartoon graphics. The page mentions that the game was introduced at last year's AM show and was scheduled for release around the same time as the Naomi 2 launch, with the cabinet designed as an upright unit. This page continues to showcase Wild Riders, a motorcycle action game from Sega Saturn Entertainment, highlighting its unique cartoon-like visual style achieved with 3D CG graphics. The game is described as arcade-first, with toon rendering technology to create an anime polygon look. The page explains that the gameplay is different from typical racing games, as there are no time limits or checkpoints. Instead, the player must evade the police, and the distance to the pursuing officers serves as a timer. If it reaches 0, the player is caught and it's game over. The page introduces two characters: Cop Patrick, a passionate police officer determined to catch the player, and Trish Moon, a cool female biker known as Speed Angel. The screenshots show in-game action with police chases, speedometers, and rank displays. There's also a message from WOW Entertainment expressing their satisfaction with the anime-style presentation made possible by NAOMI2 and their intention to create more games using this approach. The game's appeal is highlighted as being easily enjoyable for anyone due to its intuitive controls and exciting action. This page is all about Shenmue the Movie event, which took place on January 20th in Tokyo, at the Asahi Hall in Yurakucho. The event was a big success, despite the snowy weather, with people even standing to watch. A special 90-minute movie was shown at the venue, which had 638 seats. After the screening, Yu Suzuki and the main cast appeared on stage for greetings. The event also showcased the latest footage of the highly anticipated Shenmue 2. Various new details about Shenmue 2 were revealed during the event, including the game's plot outline. This article promises to deliver the inside scoop on the day's events and the secret information about Shenmue 2. The page features photos from the event, showing scenes with the cast and Yu Suzuki, attendees lining up, and people receiving what appear to be promotional items. Screenshots are also included, featuring characters from the Shenmue universe, such as Ryo Hazuki, Shenhua, and Chai, giving glimpses into both Shenmue the movie and Shenmue 2 game. The movie is described as being shown in English, with Japanese subtitles.
The article ends by saying it's incredibly cool.
This page continues the coverage of the Shenmue the movie event, where Shenmue 2 was a major topic. It highlights that before the movie began, attendees were treated to a live performance of the Shenmue theme on the erhu, setting the mood. The stage greetings featured Shenmue's director Yu Suzuki, alongside voice actors Matsukaze Masaya, who voices Ryo Hazuki, Tsukisaki Izumi, who voices Shu Yinghong, and Hazuki Mai, who voices Shenhua. Yu Suzuki shared interesting details about Shenmue 2, revealing that Shenmue the movie was projected using a new DFP digital system, resulting in excellent picture quality. He mentioned that Shenmue 2 is structured into 4 main areas, with the final area being the beautiful Guilin region in China. The story will delve deeper into Shenhua's character, aiming to create a strong connection with her. Players can also look forward to motorcycle riding in Shenmue 2 and the appearance of a cool female biker character. In terms of release timing, Suzuki acknowledged the competition from Microsoft and the Xbox, stating that they were aiming to release Shenmue 2 before the Xbox became dominant in the market, hinting at a potential summer or autumn release timeframe. He concluded by reassuring fans that the Shenmue saga is not ending and asked for their continued support. This page is focused on Shenmue 2. Continuing the coverage from the Shenmue the movie event, it highlights the appearance of a mysterious woman, Shenhua, who is described as getting closer to Ryo in the story.
This special report for Shenmue 2 reveals some game data.
It will be on 4 GDROM discs, and is a single-player game published by FREE, which is Full Reactive Eyes Entertainment. The official website for the game is listed as http://www.shenmue.com/. The article mentions that more than a year has passed since the release of the original Shenmue, and that new footage and information for both Shenmue 2 and Shenmue the movie were revealed at a recent screening event. For those who couldn't attend, a special movie with this new information is included on the Dreamcast Magazine, GDROM. The page also teases further information coming soon, directed towards the children of the 21st century. The text summarizes the events leading up to and including the first Shenmue game. It begins by recapping the story's Yokosuka setting, where Ryo Hazuki seeks revenge for his father's murder at the hands of Lan Dian. The game introduces key characters: Ryo, his father Iwao, and the antagonist, Lan Dian. A timeline then details the development of the original Shenmue, from its 1998 announcement as Project Berkeley to its 2000 release, including demo releases, and even a release of Shenmue, bundled with Virtua Fighter 3 TB. It notes the US release and its eventual success, selling over 1 million copies. The page concludes by teasing Shenmue 2, mentioning Shenmue the movie, and setting the stage for Ryo's upcoming adventure. This page is a preview for Shenmue 2, highlighting the shift in location from Japan to Hong Kong. The article is titled, Shenmue 2 World, from Chapter 1 to 2. The stage is Hong Kong. It details how the story moves from Yokosuka in the first game to Hong Kong in Shenmue 2, following Ryo's journey after leaving Japan by ship to continue his revenge quest. The preview showcases 3 key locations in Hong Kong: Kowloon, Aberdeen, and Wan Chai. Kowloon is depicted as the massive Kowloon walled city, a labyrinthine area. Aberdeen is described as a port town, while Wan Chai is presented as a lively and bustling district with vibrant street life. Screenshots feature Ryo in various Hong Kong settings, including a street with Chinese signs, a ship journey, the Kowloon walled city skyline, Aberdeen harbor with a lighthouse, and a Wan Chai street scene. emphasizing the new environments players will explore in Shenmue 2. The text includes dialogue hinting at Ryo's determination to reach Hong Kong. It emphasizes that the stage has moved to the continent, and that Hong Kong is the demon capital of Asia. The article highlights these 4 locations as the stages for the new chapter of Ryo's saga.
This page offers a preview of Shenmue 2, highlighting the game's expanded world across 4 distinct regions set in Hong Kong, emphasizing its vast and immersive scale. The article underscores that Hong Kong will be a completely new and unknown experience for Ryo, contrasting sharply with Yokosuka. Screenshots showcase diverse gameplay aspects, including Hong Kong's beaches, gambling dens with new dice games beyond Dai Sai, intense street fights in confined alleyways, and numerous character encounters. 2 specific locations, Kowloon and Guilin, are detailed as World 3 and World 4 respectively. Kowloon is portrayed as a mysterious and maze-like urban slum. Guilin is presented as a naturally beautiful area where Ryo will meet Shenhua, suggesting each location will offer unique and engaging experiences within the game.
This page is a Shenmue 2 preview, revealing 3 new female characters who will be significant to Ryo's journey. It poses the question of whether these 3 women will be like Madonnas to Ryo, similar to Nozomi in the first game. The first character introduced is Joy, described as having a nice body and being very forward with Ryo. She is portrayed as a biker and a straightforward woman of the port town, seemingly someone many rely upon. The second character is Kun Fengmei, a gentle and kind 15-year-old Chinese girl. She works at a temple and is described as a reliable and helpful person. The article suggests these female characters will add depth to Ryo's experiences in the new locations of Shenmue 2, and the preview is building anticipation for these encounters. This page spotlights Shenmue 2 and introduces 2 key female characters. First is Hong Shu Ying, described as an elegant and intelligent woman. The text hints at her thoughtful nature and observant gaze, suggesting she might be perceptive of others' true feelings. It also questions how she will be involved with Ryo in the unfolding story. The page then confirms the appearance of Shenhua, highlighting her as the main target heroine. She is described as a mysterious girl raised in nature, possessing both purity and inner strength. The article emphasizes the significant role she will play in Ryo's destiny, and suggests her meeting with Ryo will drive the story forward rapidly. It notes that Shenhua was announced as the heroine at the time of the original Shenmue's release, and her appearance in Shenmue 2 is highly anticipated. There's a section reflecting on Nozomi Harasaki from the first Shenmue, and wonders what she will be doing now that Ryo has left for Hong Kong, speculating if she is still working at the Aida flower shop in Dobuita. Finally, the page teases the appearance of even more characters, hinting at familiar faces from the first game, mentioning Ren and Joy will also make appearances in Shenmue 2. The final text hypes further news to come in the next Dreamcast Magazine issue. The page includes screenshots of these characters and scenes from Shenmue 2. 100 Swords is a Dreamcast strategy simulation game with an adventure mode that combines story-driven events and battlefield maps. Players experience the intertwined stories of King Radolfin and Queen Fals through chapters from their perspectives. Raf's chapters feature battles in Narua Val, while Fals's focus on Gran involves castle meetings and strategic gameplay. The game, categorized as an SLG network-compatible battle simulation, is set for release on February 15th for 5,800 yen. A at-Barai version is releasing earlier on February 8th for 980 yen, requiring an additional fee to unlock the full game on the 15th. It supports 14 players and requires 27 blocks of memory. This preview focuses on the first episode, The Day of Dawn, introducing the game's story. The next page focuses on the Dreamcast strategy simulation game 100 Swords. The opening of the game features Queen Fals and delves into her past through movie scenes and messages. It seems the opening sequence may not directly show the events of the time, but rather hint at them. The article highlights the correspondence between King Rekief and Queen Fals, hinting that they are communicating via letters within the game's narrative, possibly to understand each other's intentions. The page also announces the start of a 100 Swords image comic series drawn by Yoshio Sugiura, who is credited with character design for the game. The story overview describes a conflict and war set in a historical backdrop with tensions between 2 races, where the protagonist, Raouf Narval, desires peace, yet is thrust into unavoidable battles. The story seems to explore the futility of war and the desperate measures taken by the people of Narval to survive, suggesting a deep and engaging narrative. This page delves deeper into the Dreamcast strategy game, 100 Swords, focusing on the opening chapter titled Day of Omen. It describes the game's story starting just before the coronation ceremony of the young Lord Ralph Narval, the protagonist. Ralph, who inherited his father's throne, is beloved by the people for his gentle smile. The story begins with Radolf receiving a letter and meeting his friend Joan, who is surprised Radolf has only one attendant. The article highlights the initial training stage, where players learn the battle system through a red and white battle tutorial. This battle map introduces the core mechanics, emphasizing unit strengths and weaknesses, like infantry being strong against cavalry. Following the training, preparations for the coronation ceremony commences. During this time, Rakiev encounters Neril, his childhood friend, along with his mother Palmyra, who is also Neril's adoptive parent. The Day of Omen setting is described as a perpetual daylight period, with the world bathed in an orange sunset-like hue. Screenshots showcase in-game dialogues and battle scenarios, giving a glimpse into the characters and gameplay. The article emphasizes the narrative setup and tutorial aspects of the game, leading into the main story events after the coronation. Joan Arblas is introduced as Rabaev and Neil's childhood friend and a skilled warrior, while Palmyra is presented as Rabaev's mother and Neil's adoptive mother, adding depth to the character relationships. The next page continues the preview of 100 Swords, focusing on the dramatic events at Ralph Narval's coronation. The sacred coronation ceremony is underway, and envoys from various countries are present to offer blessings to Ralph. However, Masker, a neighboring envoy, interrupts with curses instead of blessings, leading to a surprising turn of events. The page introduces Rent's Masker, described as the Mad Dog, and a warrior born with a grudge against Narval, seeking revenge for the history of his homeland. Priscilla Carlin, a female general under Rentz, is also introduced as a skilled warrior who seems to have feelings for Rentz. The article describes Battle Map 2, Escape from the Throne Rock, where Rafe must escape from Masker's surprise attack. The objective is to guide Raf to the designated location within the time limit, while avoiding Masker's forces. Losing Raf results in a game over. The page also explores why Masker is fighting against Narval. It explains that Narval, despite its current peaceful policies, was once a powerful nation that conquered vast territories. This past aggression is known as the Narval's Rudder, a great massacre that fuels Masker's desire for revenge. Masker sees Narval's current peaceful stance as a cowardly retreat and is determined to avenge the suffering inflicted upon his people. The screenshots depict in-game dialogues and battle scenes, highlighting the tension and conflict of this pivotal moment in the story. The 100 Swords preview features Rafaf rallying his exhausted soldiers for a counterattack, emphasizing his compassionate leadership. The preview introduces the magic tribe Gran, a magical nation led by Queen Fals, with Igor Winogradov, a trusted elder, attending Ryov's coronation. Edit Winogradov, Igor's granddaughter and a seed user, with healing abilities tied to the wise dragon tree, is also introduced. The story focuses on a counteroffensive to recapture the capital, including a touching scene between Radolf and his mother, Palmyra. A battle map is showcased, requiring strategic troop deployment and map navigation to defeat enemies in a forest setting. This page continues the preview for 100 Swords, detailing the mission to recapture the capital city of Ravenslau and the coronation of the young King Raf. The story progresses from the forest battles to the capital, emphasizing a swift and decisive attack to seize Ravenslau. The preview highlights the strategic gameplay in the Battle Map 4 Ravenslau section. Players must manage resources, recruit soldiers, and strategically deploy troops on the map to conquer enemy resource points and forts. It is mentioned that the map exploration and resource gathering system is a key element of the game. The Capital Recapture Blood-Soaked Coronation Ceremony section reveals that upon liberating Ravenslau, a coronation ceremony will be held to solidify Raf's rule. However, amidst the celebrations, there are undercurrents of conflict, as a decision needs to be made between Newell and Joanne for the position of Raf's aide, creating a point of contention. The narrative concludes with a sense of foreboding, describing Fals as quiet as a deep lake, hinting at deeper storylines to unfold in the second story, titled Knowing It's a Sin, the Counterattack Begins. The next issue, releasing on February 2nd, will feature a playable demo focusing on the full map strategy elements of 100 Swords. This page features a preview of the romance simulation game Canvas Sepia Memories, which is coming to the Dreamcast after its initial release on Windows PC in autumn last year. This Dreamcast version retains the soft color palette of the original, but reconstructs the visuals for improved graphics. While largely similar in content to the PC version, the Dreamcast edition includes added scenarios and an extra character, offering an enhanced experience. The character portraits are also slightly larger. The article poses a thematic question. What happens when something you deeply love turns into a source of pain? It explores the dilemma of whether to run away from such a paradoxical situation or to confront it, suggesting there's no easy answer. Game data details that Canvas Sepia Memories is published by NEC Interchannel and scheduled for release on April 5th, with the price yet to be determined. It's a single-player romance simulation game, and the official homepage is listed as http://www.neosic.co.jp/. The game is also stated to be VGA compatible. This page delves further into the Dreamcast version of Canvas Sepia Memories, a romance simulation game. It highlights the game's core theme of rediscovering the passion for drawing within a 2-week in-game period. The story revolves around a high school protagonist, an art prodigy, who has lost his artistic drive. To regain his special student status, he must achieve success in an upcoming art contest. The page teases the gameplay, suggesting that during these 2 weeks, the protagonist will navigate school life, encounter various girls, and make choices that influence the story. A key question is posed. Who will the protagonist choose as his model for the contest? The game is set to feature a school festival as a major event within this time frame. Excitingly, the article confirms the addition of a brand new character for the Dreamcast release named Ayaka Misaki. Introduced by NEC Interchannel's director Kitamura, Ayaka is depicted as a junior in the art club who deeply admires the protagonist's past artistic dedication. Observing his current lack of motivation, Ayaka becomes a catalyst to reignite his passion for drawing. The article suggests that her scenario may delve into the protagonist's inner world and personal life, a facet perhaps not as explored in the original Windows PC version, which focused more on the female characters. Finally, a profile for Ayaka Misaki is presented, detailing her height, weight, measurements, blood type, and birthday. Canvas Sepia Memories for the Dreamcast features a complex web of relationships centered around the protagonist and 5 key female characters. Kano Tenin, the innocent childhood friend, shares a uniquely close bond with him. Kimihiro Sayuri, an awkward upperclassman, seeks his help to break a perceived curse. Sakurazuka Ren, a rebellious but secretly content cousin, complicates the familial dynamic. Tsurunomiya Misa, the composed daughter of a wealthy family, provides a contrasting personality. Finally, Nanasho Yuko, a childhood classmate, harbors a grudge but remains inseparable from the protagonist. The page emphasizes Tenin's character, describing her fondness for Nhalapan bread, clumsiness, unwavering loyalty, and joyful participation in the school festival dance. This page introduces 4 key female characters from the Dreamcast visual novel Canvas Sepia Memories. We see Sakurazuka Ren, the cousin who, despite her rebellious attitude, is actually quite content. She works at an ice cream parlor. Then there is Kimihiro Sayuri, an upperclassman who avoids people and prefers to spend time with flowers on the rooftop. She feels burdened by a self-perceived curse. We also see Tsurunomiya Misa, who was like an older sister to the protagonist in childhood and is from a wealthy family, offering warmth like hot cocoa. Finally, Nanajo Yuko, a childhood classmate who is inseparable from the protagonist despite holding a grudge. She is focused on high jump since elementary school and is often mistaken for a boy due to her boyish personality. This page introduces Pia Yukoso 2.5, the latest in the series following 2.2, promising to be just as enjoyable. The focus is on Mina Hinomori, a returning heroine from Pia Yukoso 2.2. Mina works part-time as a waitress at the Pia restaurant. We get a look at her personal data, including her birthday on December 7th, blood type B, height of 151 centimeters, weight of 41 kilograms, and her measurements. The game data reveals it's an SLG, a love simulation game, from NEC Interchannel, scheduled for release in March. The page includes several screenshots featuring Mina in various scenes, including one humorous scene at the beach, where she seems to be surrounded by crabs and in a bit of a pinch. The text explains that Pia Yukoso 2.5 is directly connected to the story of 2, continuing from where 2.2 left off. It mentions that in 2, if players didn't achieve a happy ending, 2.2 continues the story from there. Mina is depicted as someone who might call the player Oni-chan, or older brother, and the article playfully requests players to remember this detail. This page spotlights Azusa Hinomori from Pia e Yukoso 2.5. She is described as a very popular older sister type character. We learn about her background. She finished her summer part-time job, focused on university entrance exams, and got accepted into her desired school. She decided to work at Carrot again during winter vacation for various reasons. The article details her personality as kind and gentle and great with children. It notes a change from her more reserved attitude in Pia Yukoso 2 to a friendlier demeanor in 2.2 and now in 2.5. Her personal data is also presented, including her birthday on July 1st, blood type O, height of 157 centimeters, weight of 45 kilograms, and her measurements. An event scene section discusses the issue of troublesome customers at the Pia restaurant who sometimes flirt with the waitresses because of their cute uniforms, posing the question of how to handle such situations. The page also features several screenshots showing Azusa in various scenarios, including interacting with a young child and serving customers, highlighting her role as a kind and approachable older sister figure. Ryoko Futaba, the dependable acting store manager from Pia e Yukoso, is introduced. She's a reassuring presence and older sister figure to the part-time staff, helping to manage the store and alleviate staffing issues. While usually calm, she shows a more relaxed side when drinking. Ryoko and Hotaru are currently preparing for the grand opening of Pia Store number 3. Fans anticipate her return to the main game. Her role as acting manager is central to the Dreamcast version's storyline. An event scene illustrates her caring nature through her comforting of a lost child. Ryoko's personal data includes her birthday, October 20th, blood type, AB, height, 158 centimeters, weight, 45 kilograms, and measurements, B, 85 centimeters, W, 58 centimeters, H, 86 centimeters. She handles staff scheduling, helps the protagonist, and is portrayed as both reliable and subtly mischievous. The page includes images showcasing her character. This page introduces Jun Kagurazaka as a waiter with many secrets from Pia e Yukoso 2.5. He is presented as the fourth character check in this series. The text hints at his hidden depths and mentions that even Misato might not know all his secrets. He's working as a waiter at Pia and is described as someone who started working part-time about a week ago and seems to be quickly getting along with the other staff, especially the protagonist. His personal data is partially revealed, showing his height at 165 centimeters and bust, waist, and hip measurements as B 77 centimeters, W 60 centimeters, and H 79 centimeters. But his birthday, blood type, and weight are unknown. The page also includes topics about the Pia stores themselves, focusing on Pia store number 3, which is currently in preparation for opening, described as a tropical-style store by the seaside, which is a new concept for the chain. It also mentions Pia store number 1 and 2, noting Store 1 is the main location and setting for the first game, and Store 2 has been renovated and gained popularity with new uniforms. This page is all about Macross M3, a shooting game developed by the original anime staff, promising exciting gameplay that breaks the mold of typical anime games. The game follows 3 warriors and delves into the mysteries of war and system details, exploring each episode in depth. The game data section reveals the game is by Shueisha, released on February 22nd, priced at 6,800 yen, 360 points, on 1 disc for 1 player, and is a SHT 3D shooting game. It supports VGA and data communication, and the web page address is provided as http://www.shueisha.co.jp/enter/m3/. The page features character art and screenshots from the game, showcasing the anime-style visuals and shooting action. It's a preview of what to expect in this Dreamcast shooter. This page delves into the gameplay system of Macross M3, guiding players into the heart of aerial battles. The game is structured with a straightforward system, ensuring players can easily engage in intense dogfights. The main gameplay flow consists of 6 steps, starting with conversation events, followed by briefing sessions, where mission details and objectives are explained, emphasizing the importance of understanding the terrain to choose the right unit. Players then select their mecha, choosing from available Valkyries, each with fighter, Gerwalk, and Batroid modes, with variations in speed and missile capacity influencing tactical choices. Pilot selection follows, with 3 ace pilots available: Max, Melia, and Moramia, each potentially altering in-game dialogue and adding personal preference to the decision. Plugin selection is next, offering special functions to enhance the chosen Valkyrie, like expanded lock-on range or improved mobility, adding a layer of customization. Finally, players proceed to the mission gameplay itself.
The page also highlights the user-friendly interface, noting it prioritizes ease of play. Key screen elements are explained, including the score, remaining mission time, lock-on marker for missile targeting, missile count, action points used for special maneuvers, shield power gauge, and the boost/search limit gauge, which functions as boost in fighter/Gerwalk modes and enemy search in Batroid mode.
In the Macross M3 preview, Episode 1, Aerial Dance, Counterattack to the Mysterious Enemy, begins in 2014 New York. Max and Melia, aboard the Algenemics, are thrust into action to defend a supply base from Zentradi forces. Players start in a user-friendly VF-1J fighter, engaging in a battle to eliminate enemy aircraft.
Stage 2 introduces enemy spy machines disguised as friendly units. Players must use a captured, powerful but challenging VF-4 in Batroid form within a time limit to defeat these spies and prevent them from escaping with classified information. The preview emphasizes utilizing free mission mode for practice after clearing story missions. Players are also advised to pay close attention to warning displays during combat to effectively use flares and action points, avoiding reckless maneuvers. This page of the magazine continues the Macross M3 preview, now focusing on Episode 2, titled Dancing Tightrope, where the goal is to seize new weaponry. Stage 3 shifts to infiltrating an enemy new weapon test site. Melia is tasked with approaching the test site disguised as a supply base, navigating through anti-aircraft fire and ground-based cannons using Gerwalk mode to avoid detection. Stage 4 escalates to attacking the new weapons factory itself. Here, Melia faces intense anti-aircraft fire and destroyed units while targeting an information tower for destruction. Stage 5 reveals the variable Glaug, a new and powerful enemy unit. This stage involves a direct confrontation with the variable Glaug, highlighting its speed and the skill of its Zentradi pilot, requiring Mikalia to engage in a demanding dogfight. The screenshots illustrate these stages, showing gameplay with the VF-4 and combat scenarios against destroids and the new variable Glaug unit. This page presents a detailed look at Aerodancing It, a flight simulation game featuring the Su-27 flanker. The page emphasizes the aircraft's impressive maneuverability, particularly questioning whether advanced aerobatic maneuvers like the Pugachev's Cobra and Kulbit are possible within the game. A section titled Aircraft Data provides specifications for the Su-27, highlighting its real-world performance. The article also mentions that a demo version of Aerodancing is included in this issue of Dreamcast Magazine, designed to delight fans of the series. It teases that the full game will offer even more than the demo, with details about the series' staple free flight mode promising to further heighten anticipation. The game is described as a network flight simulation, and the game data reveals a release date of February 15th, priced at 6,800 yen. It supports 1 to 2 players locally and up to 4 players in network battles. The page is presented as a special report in Dreamcast Magazine, clearly intended to generate excitement for Aerodancing It and its iconic aircraft, the Su-27 flanker. Aerodancing expands beyond its predecessor by including US and Japanese aircraft alongside the previously featured French planes. The game boasts a fighter select screen showcasing aircraft like the F-14 and FA-18AG, with detailed aircraft data for each. The game introduces 13 diverse map types, a substantial increase from previous iterations, with added weather and time variations, totaling 38 different map experiences. Players can select maps like desert and sea, with conditions like noon and squall. Further enhancements include the use of helicopter carriers as mobile bases, and new replay features offering varied viewpoints. Screenshots display gameplay across desert and mountainous environments, and a free flight mode is teased. This page details the free flight mode in Aerodancing It, emphasizing its enhanced freedom and customization. The free flight mode offers 4 distinct playstyles: air attack for aerial combat, allowing players to customize enemy aircraft types, numbers, weapons, and CPU level. Surface attack focuses on ground targets, with mission objectives displayed on the map, offering combined missions and tactical gameplay. Solo flight removes enemy encounters, allowing players to freely explore maps and practice flying, even using transport aircraft like the C-1. Lastly,
Random mission mode generates randomized missions. The page also highlights weapon selection and map selection screens, showcasing the variety of maps like CV, LHD, Bay, W Coast, and Hills. Screenshots show gameplay in different environments, including cityscapes and coastal areas, with mentions of new medium-range missiles and the ability to use gun-only combat. The text describes the free flight mode as significantly improved, offering more detailed settings and diverse play experiences compared to previous aerodancing titles. This page highlights new elements in aerodancing, specifically focusing on the solo flight and random mission modes. Solo flight is described as a mode where you can purely enjoy flying without enemies, perfect for sightseeing, acrobatics practice, or landing training. Random mission mode allows for customized missions, randomizing map, weapons, and even whether your plane is stronger or weaker than the enemy, providing varied gameplay scenarios. The page details enhanced replay functionality, noting increased points to 25 and the addition of LR trigger zoom during replays. It introduces new camera viewpoints for replays, categorized under F and J, with J viewpoints being newly added. These viewpoints include cockpit, pilot, behind, front, left, back, right, nose, tail, onboard near, formation, pass 1, round, curve, cameraman, watcher 23, target, missile, auto, satellite, and slide, offering diverse perspectives for reviewing flights. The page also mentions a new feature called LR Zoom for replays, enabling zooming during playback from viewpoints like watcher and satellite. Lastly, the page illustrates the debriefing display function, showing flight path replays with various data. This page is the contents page for Dreamcast GD Volume .10. It lists playable demos and special movies included on the disc. The demos are for the games 100 Swords, a action game; Battle Beaster, a monster fighting game; Ultimate Fighting Championship, a fighting game compatible with arcade sticks; and Aerodancing, a flight simulation game supporting various controllers. Special movie content is included for Shenmue 2, Eldergate, and Sega Gaga, a Sega simulation game. The menu music used on the disc is taken from Aerodancing. The next page details the contents of the Dreamcast Magazine GD Volume .10 disc, listing the playable demos and special movies available. There is a special movie for Shenmue 2. Playable demos are included for 100 Swords, Battle Beaster, Ultimate Fighting Championship, and Aerodancing. Promotional movies are available for Eldorado Gate and Sega. The menu music used for the disc is from Aerodancing. This page details the contents of the Dreamcast Magazine GD Volume .10 disc. It highlights several games included on the disc, such as Shenmue 2, 100 Swords, Battle Beaster, Ultimate Fighting Championship, Aerodancing, Eldorado Gate, and Sega Gaga. There are standard warnings and usage instructions for the GDROM, including cautions for children and proper handling to avoid damage. The editorial department note explains that the GDROM Volume .10 is a copyrighted special supplementary disc from Dreamcast Magazine. It mentions that the playable demos on the disc are still in development and may not function perfectly, and that any problems with the disc cannot be exchanged. It also notes that if software reset operations are not effective, users should turn off the power and restart the Dreamcast. For inquiries about the GDROM, users are directed to contact SoftBank Publishing customer service during weekday afternoons. The disc supports VGA output, vibration packs for certain games like 100 Swords and Aerodancing, arcade sticks for Ultimate Fighting Championship, and microphone devices for Battle Beaster. The disc is for the Japanese NTSCJ region only. This page promotes a special movie for Shenmue 2, featured on the Dreamcast Magazine GD Volume .10 disc. This is the very first time Dreamcast Magazine readers are seeing moving footage of Shenmue 2 in a special 4-minute movie. The scale is described as much larger than the Yokosuka section of the first game. We get to see new characters, including Joy, a new female character who arrives on a motorbike, and Hong Shu Ying, a knowledgeable and wise woman. Screenshots show scenes set in Kowloon, martial arts training sequences, and the vibrant cityscapes of Hong Kong, highlighting the new locations and encounters that await in Shenmue 2. There's a mention that more detailed information can be found on page 26. This page introduces the Dreamcast game 100 Swords, a real-time simulation game where 100 units battle simultaneously on screen. It's a network-compatible simulation game, but the demo version does not include network battles and focuses on other modes. The page details 3 modes available in the demo: tutorial mode, adventure mode, and mission mode. Tutorial mode is for learning controls and game progression, with system explanations and battle maps. Adventure mode is a story mode from the perspective of 2 main characters, young King Rafe and young Queen Ferris, with the demo featuring the first episode where Rafe escapes his homeland. Mission mode allows players to enjoy various scenarios and character side stories, with the demo featuring a mission where Queen Ferris's Royal Knights leader fights in a single unit. The page also shows the Dreamcast controller layout and explains the basic controls for 100 Swords, including using the analog stick and directional buttons for cursor and map scrolling, L and R triggers for map rotation, Y button for unit switching, B button for cancel/back, A button for confirm/unit selection, and X button for individual unit selection. Screenshots show gameplay in each mode and highlight the 2D graphics and real-time battles. It also mentions that the full product version will support internet-based network battles for up to 4 players. The next page further elaborates on 100 Swords command system and game flow. It explains that players issue commands at the leader unit level, controlling squads within divisions. The game's basic progression is described as 4 phases: resource gathering, construction and troop deployment, combat, and finally, main base attack. The basic action menu offers 4 options: movement, building, troop deployment, and unit removal. The page also notes that the cursor icons dynamically change based on the designated action. Finally, it briefly touches upon the story, highlighting the perspectives of the 2 main characters, young King Rafe of Narval and young Queen Ferris of Gran. This page introduces Battle Beaster, a Dreamcast voice battle simulation game developed by Wonder Effect and slated for a March release. It is priced at 5,800 yen. The game supports 12 players and requires 23 VM blocks. Battle Beaster is described as a game where you become a beast tamer, collecting and training magical creatures called beasts. The ultimate goal is to compete and win the Battle Beaster tournament. A key feature highlighted is the voice-controlled voice battle system using a microphone device. You issue commands like strike or get up into the microphone to control your beast in battle. The page introduces 2 characters: Sayu, a cheerful and somewhat airheaded girl who is described as a beast tamer, and Mikaki, who serves as the tournament receptionist. The demo version focuses on voice control exclusively for battles, while the full retail version will also offer controller input options. The demo limits button use in battles to just the start button for pausing or skipping. Players are informed that a microphone device is essential to play the demo version. The Battle Beaster trial version introduces the Revu Beast controlled by voice commands like forward, dash, and provoke. Battles are one-on-one, relying on clear voice input for attacks to deplete the opponent's HP. The battle interface displays HP, time, emotion gauges, and opponent location. The guide offers battle strategies: evade Fusha's close-range attacks with backdashes, and use Ray. Counterflyer or Debiria's ranged attacks with Konoha Shuriken, and avoid Bruto, Vanilla, Onyx, or Tagaya's powerful press attacks by evading close range and using Ray or Lekushin. The retail version will offer more detailed strategies, button controls, and a factory mode for beast development, promising deeper strategic gameplay and a wider variety of beasts. This page is focused on the Dreamcast game Ultimate Fighting Championship. It highlights the game as a no-rules fighting experience based on the Veil Tudo style, emphasizing its realistic depiction of mixed martial arts. The page mentions that the game won the Best Fighting Game Award at E3 the previous year and sold over 400,000 copies on Dreamcast and PlayStation in the US. Now, the game is finally coming to Dreamcast in Japan, featuring 22 real-world fighters with realistic movements and staging, recreating the atmosphere of real fights in detail. The article details the Veil Tudo fighting style, explaining it allows all forms of attacks, like punches, kicks, throws, joint locks, and strangles. The Dreamcast version of UFC recreates this style with a unique system, emphasizing intuitive controls without complex command inputs, especially in ground fighting. Screenshots demonstrate various ground positions, like mount position, guard position, and back mount, explaining their strategic advantages. It also highlights that in this trial version, players can use 2 fighters, Tito Ortiz and Frank Shamrock, both described with their fighting styles and backgrounds. Tito Ortiz is mentioned as a current UFC middleweight champion with a wrestling base, and Frank Shamrock is a disciple of Ken Shamrock, known for his versatile fighting style encompassing pancrase, rings, and UFC. This page details the controls and rules for the Dreamcast game Ultimate Fighting Championship, emphasizing its simplicity for immediate play. It breaks down the controller layout and explains the on-screen display elements like health, stamina, fighter names, round number, and remaining time. The page covers basic controls for stand-up and ground fighting, including movement, strikes, tackles, grapples, and position changes. UFC rules are explained, focusing on winning by KO or submission, with 3 rounds per match and decisions if no finish occurs. Gameplay tips are highlighted with action screenshots, showcasing combination attacks, tackle counters, aiming for mount position, and dramatic reversals. The page also announces that the full retail version will feature 5 game modes: VS mode, UFC mode, champion mode, training mode, tournament mode, and edit fighter mode. It also mentions the demo version includes replays and slight differences from the final product.
More detailed game strategy can be found on page 124.
This page is a guide for Aero Dancing In, known internationally as Aero Wings 2 Airstrike, a combat flight simulator for Dreamcast. It highlights that this new installment in the series now features ground attacks. The page focuses on a rescue mission scenario, outlining the flow of gameplay and mission objectives. The briefing section describes a special mission in the demo version, where players must use anti-ground missiles. The Mission Flow VIP Rescue Operations section details the mission objective: rescuing VIPs. It shows gameplay images of targeting cars and fighting enemy tanks. It mentions that there will be 2 enemy tanks to destroy, and then F-16A fighter jets will appear. The page also explains the Dreamcast controller setup for the game, showing the functions assigned to different buttons for both mission stick and standard stick control configurations. These include actions like aiming the head, controlling the aircraft, weapon firing, engine output, target switching, and view changes. The start section gives initial mission instructions, advising players to look at the radar to locate the VIP and enemy vehicles, and suggesting new players reduce speed. The enemy tank appears section describes that after destroying the initial tanks, enemy reinforcements will arrive, indicated by on-screen messages and directional arrows. Finally, the dogfight with hexadecafluorine monoarsenide section explains that players must then engage in aerial combat with 2 F-16A fighter jets to complete the mission and rescue the VIPs. This guide to aero dancing explains the heads-up display, HUD, which provides vital information. Key HUD elements include pitch, wingspan, heading, speed, angle of attack, rate of climb, altitude, Mach number, G-force, flap and gear indicators, and damage display. The radar shows enemy positions, with a red warning for those behind the player. Weapon displays show the selected weapon and ammo. Available weapons are missiles and guns. Combat display explains the targeting reticle and how to fire weapons. The guide also details replay functions, a core feature. Players can control playback, change camera angles, 25 available, toggle display options, and view aircraft positions. The demo version has limited replay saving and certain function availability.
More detailed replay information is located on page 52.
This page showcases Eldorad Gate, a unique episodic RPG series for the Dreamcast. It emphasizes the game's focus on story, highlighting it as a playable novel, with episodes released every 2 months. The game doesn't use a traditional level system. Instead, character stats are determined by equipment, offering a different kind of progression. Combat is attribute-based, requiring players to strategically change equipment to exploit enemy weaknesses. Magic is cast using consumable magic gemstones. A key feature is carrying items and character stats over to subsequent chapters, encouraging item collection and replayability. The page also points out a synthesis system to create powerful weapons and armor. Yoshitaka Amano is credited for the character designs, and the game boasts 12 main playable characters, along with numerous supporting characters and monsters. Some of the characters highlighted are Gomez, a hammer-wielding powerhouse, Kanan, the masked test subject, Radia, a genius sorceress, and Bantros, a scheming leader. The release schedule for the first 7 chapters is detailed, starting with the first chapter in October 2000 and continuing every couple of months. This page is dedicated to the Dreamcast game Sega a business simulation game where the player takes on the role of a Sega employee in the year 2000, tasked with saving the company from a 100% market share takeover by their rival, DOGMA. The game is described as a painful self-parody, filled with Sega-related jokes, featuring famous Sega game characters and real-life game creators. The premise is that the player, along with another employee, is chosen to lead Sega to reclaim market share within 3 years, or the company will be doomed. The page highlights key characters, including Sagata Taro and Haneda Yayoi, who are the player characters, and other figures within Sega, likely representing real-life personnel. Screenshots showcase gameplay elements, including menu screens, character interactions, and development aspects within Sega. The game is positioned as a desperate attempt to revive Sega in the 21st century, a super ambitious management simulation. The game was scheduled for release on March 29th, priced at 5,800 yen, or 300 points via direct online sales. It's noted as a D-Direct title, meaning it was primarily sold online. This page is an advertisement for strategy guides for 2 games. The first guide is for Moyero Justice Gakuen, known internationally as Project Justice, which is advertised as a perfect guide to enhance your Justice high school life. It promises in-depth character data, episode edit information, secret methods, and advice for versus battles, aiming for a February release. The second guide is for Guilty Gear X, titled the GGX Thorough Pursuit Official Guide Dreamcast Edition. It boasts thorough analysis of GGX's essence, covering character basic performance, special moves, tactics for CPU and versus battles, and advanced techniques for GGX experts, also scheduled for release in February.
Dream Magazine's Reader Submission Corner, Free Talk with Robo, features diverse opinions. Readers discuss UFC games, Sega's simplicity, and a desire for Sega Rally, and Let's Make a J-League Pro Soccer Club game adaptations. Phantasy Star discussions include mistaken game titles, name input confusion, and offline play with NPC interactions. The editorial section humorously recalls old ideas and encounters. Everyone is greatly mistaken this week too, presents random themes for reader contributions. Dory Hero Weekly promotes news updates. A weekly schedule details various anniversaries and themed days, including cultural, national, and professional celebrations. This page showcases the Dream Magazine Art Club class, filled with reader-submitted illustrations. The first artwork is of Iris Chateaubriand from Sakura Wars, praised for the clothing depiction, and the artist from Fukuoka Prefecture. Next is Sakura Taisen 2 artwork, with the artist from Fukui Prefecture, highlighting the elegant clothing and funny dialogue. Another cute illustration is of Don House from Aichi Prefecture, emphasizing the appealing cuteness. An artwork featuring Guilty Gear X characters from Kumamoto Prefecture shows a different expression from their usual in-game selves. There's also an artwork titled Fragrance Tale from Saitama Prefecture, depicting a group of characters. An illustration of Virtua On's False from Hiroshima Prefecture with a weighty expression is shown. And lastly, an Angeline from Cybertrooper's Virtua On Oratorio Tangram from Tokyo Prefecture, depicted in a cute, personified style. At the bottom are movie reviews. The Watcher, starring Keanu Reeves, is reviewed as a suspenseful thriller about a serial killer and an FBI agent. Unbreakable, starring Bruce Willis, is reviewed as a mystery suspense film about a man who survives a major disaster. A movie ranking list is also presented, with Dancer in the Dark at number 1 and Battle Royale at number 3. This page continues with the reader-submitted Dream Magazine Art Club illustrations. First is an artwork of Yuki from The Last Blade, praised for capturing her strong and beautiful image. Following this is an artwork of a princess, likely from Sakura Wars 2. Next is an illustration of the character Zunkoku from Phantasy Star Online. There is also artwork from the online Dream Magazine Art Club, featuring various characters. Another illustration appears to be a nurse from Phantasy Star Online. Finally, there is an illustration based on Magic: The Gathering. At the bottom, a message from Osamu Tezuka discusses environmental themes and humanity's role. The page also includes an information section announcing Koji Hayama's new album, Tomorrow Will Be Sunny, released on February 7, 2001, which is his first full vocal album and the theme for the TV program Game no Doki. Radio station details are also given for programs like Charani Radio Station. This page presents reader-submitted postcards and advice responses in the Your Postcards section, where Ogi Kuboko,
Makoto no Kare, and Rindo offer lighthearted replies to various questions from readers. The Dream Magazine Special Correspondence section encourages reader participation by requesting event reports, game-related news, and humorous observations about characters resembling real people. The Illustration Inquiry Board displays reader-created artwork. In the Recommended Books section, 2 titles are introduced. The official South Park Complete Guide, a parody-style strategy guide for the Dreamcast game, and the Battle Morality Soldier Chogiger comic, highlighted for its comedic and original storyline about a creature embodying morality. Finally, a game ranking chart lists popular titles, including Guilty Gear X / Saskatsuku Special Big Plan J-League Professional Soccer Club is coming, and Detective Jinguji Saburo Dash. The next page features several sections. The Network Gamers Go, Go, Go section discusses the Dreamcast game 100 Swords, with the author expressing enjoyment of its real-time battles and online play. They mention using Phantasy Star Online as a second character and meeting magazine readers online, and also talk about visual lobby actions within PSO. In UME and Tsu's Delusion Research Lab, the topic is Capcom's first video game, which is Vulgus, an arcade game. They also ponder the English term for a female protagonist, contrasting it with hero for males. A poll result is presented, listing various game-related terms and names with numerical values. This includes titles like Sword of Sodan and Soul Blade, known internationally as Soul Edge, alongside more whimsical options. Finally, Music Paradise interviews a game music composer, highlighting their work on titles such as Grandia and Langrisser. The discussion emphasizes the significance of music in enhancing the gaming experience. This page features diverse content. The Dori Manga manga section includes various short comics like Futamame Gregorio and Item Name Monofluid, with humorous and relatable themes. Best Friend references Oh, Ryokun, Shenmue's Ryo Hazuki, and Doraemon, while Nana's Teaching 3 panel offers advice, and Stripping Super KO showcases a battle scene. The Pickup section highlights the Super Strike genre from Fukuoka Prefecture. Regional contributions include praise for artists and their works, such as Bonbon, Fluid, and Teo. Finally, the This Week's CD Release Introduction showcases several music releases, including maxi singles by Sophia, Trinity, NekoCat, and albums by And the Kaleidoscope. This page delves into reader opinions and humorous content. The Dori Hero Opinion Box features reader letters, one suggesting mini-games for VM units could be more popular if battery life wasn't an issue, using Eternal Arcadia, Skies of Arcadia, as an example where mini-games are tied to the main game. Another reader requests more budget-friendly games like the Simple 1500 series for Dreamcast. The Hardline Project Shota Corner section humorously focuses on Shota characters, featuring reader comments and illustrations around this theme. One section is titled, This Kid is No Good? And it also includes a This Week's Recommended Anime Corner for Shota Lovers section promoting Metarote, Metabots, highlighting its cute characters. Voice actress Omi Minami's OMI in Wonderland column is a personal entry discussing the new year, coming-of-age day, and exam season. She reflects on the snowy coming-of-age day and exam memories. There is also a short section called Beloved Dog Puin's Diary, which provides diary entries from the perspective of a dog named Puin, detailing everyday dog activities. Finally, Japanese culture characters briefly mentions cultural figures like Momotaro and monsters, and humorously references Shinzo Abe's outfit as examples of Japanese cultural characters. This page features reader contributions and magazine sections. The Unconfirmed Information Bureau shares humorous reader comments, including one about the Happy Lesson character type, and another requesting adult game appearances from Love Poverty Escape Plan. There's also mention of Eternal Arcadia 2, likely Skies of Arcadia, and speculation about VFX and Project X, possibly relating to the Virtua Fighter and Project Justice series. The Violent Love Cafe section displays reader-submitted illustrations, with comments praising the art style and expressing emotional responses. Games mentioned in relation to these illustrations include Sakura Wars and again Eternal Arcadia, Skies of Arcadia. Dream to Meet presents reader requests, notably one asking for a Dreamcast version of Phantasy Star Collection due to the popularity of Phantasy Star Online. This request also refers to the Dream Library and offline RPGs. Another request is to revive the Demon Legends series, mentioning MSX and Dreamcast as platforms. The point ranking section seems to be a reader submission point system, with prizes like book vouchers, original goods, and games being awarded based on accumulated points. Metal Slug 3 is also featured with a screenshot. The page also includes guides to various magazine corners and submission guidelines for readers wanting to contribute to Dreamcast Magazine. This page features the Neo Black column by Fumio Kurokawa, discussing the theme of Made in Japan games. It talks about the anticipation for new game hardware in 2001 and the excitement from game industry insiders and fans alike. The column mentions Digicube and their presence at events with digital content terminals, highlighting their digital content terminal as a new generation kiosk-type device for music distribution, talent offshot photos, and digital photo printing. The article then shifts to robotics, focusing on Honda's robot development, referencing the P2 and P3 models, and contrasting them with fictional robots from movies like Android Dream and Terminator. It touches upon the unique Japanese affinity for robots, suggesting a fusion of Japanese software technology and the automobile industry could lead to significant advancements in the 21st century. Below this column, there's a section called Game Industry, This Week's Headline News. Headline number 5 mentions FFX, sales extensions due to Squareware's first ever financial losses. Also in headline 5, there's news of Sega.com Asia partially selling off assets. Headline 4 talks about a large company alliance in the online gaming sector. Headline 3 humorously declares, now is the cat robot era, discussing internet-connected cat-type robots from companies like Community and BNF. Headline 2 reports, PS2 trouble even in the UK, related to game rentals. Finally, headline 1 chillingly mentions a Pokemon murder incident, detailing a tragic event involving a young boy in a park and a Pokemon card. The next page is dedicated to the new Zoids anime, showcasing its hyper-hybrid animation. It details the first volume release of the Zoids TV series, available on DVD, video, and LD, having been released on January 17th. The story section outlines the anime's premise, a conflict between the Gylos Empire and Helic Republic, where mechanical life forms called Zoids are used as weapons. A protagonist, a boy named Ban who aspires to be a Zoid user, discovers a Zoid egg. Character introductions are provided for Ban, described as a hoverboard-riding boy who encounters Fine and Jeek and obtains the Zoid shield Liger. Fine is a mysterious beauty who emerges from a Zoid egg and is searching for Zoid Eve. Jeek is a Tyrannosaurus trauma-type organoid Zoid. Irvine is a character who wields the command Wolf Zoid and aims to acquire Jeeks. The page also features a topics section focused on Rie Tanaka's first vocal album, Garnet. This album is set to be released on February 7th from SME Visual Works. Priced at 2,913 yen, excluding tax, the CD contains 10 tracks and runs for approximately 50 minutes, featuring anime and game theme songs. This page highlights various anime releases on DVD, video, and LD. Releases include Gear Fighter Dendo, a mecha TV anime. Sexy Commando Gaiden. Sugoyo Masarusen, a gag anime based on a manga. Super Electromagnetic Machine Voltes V, a classic mecha anime rebroadcast on Family Theater. Pia Carrot Iyukoso, 2DC Suka Shuhen, an OVA compilation. Android Kikaider, the Animation Volume 2, based on the original manga. Brigadoon Marin and Melon, Volume 2, a sci-fi series. Aim for the Top, Gunbuster Volume 2, an OVA including new footage. Spirit of Wonder Volume 1, a youth science fiction manga adaptation. Eatman DVD Collection Box, a TV anime box set. Magical Circle Guru Guru Movie, the movie version of the anime series. And Maison Ikoku Complete Edition, a classic anime being broadcast on Animax. This page is a chapter from the manga series, Something Yoshimatsu Theater, specifically episode 103, titled 21st Century Manga Special. It features a robot character, Something Sensei, who encounters a car and is impressed by it. He humorously interacts with the vehicle, mentioning it has 1 million horsepower and is a Ferrari, while making sound effects as he tries to run with it. The humor comes from his comments about the car being heavy and his lack of money. The author, Yoshimatsu, is mentioned as being an animator who also works on TV anime openings, and it's humorously noted that this is the first time Something Sensei has been seen using tone paper in the manga. This page is a manga column depicting the author's experiences during the New Year holiday period. The author starts by describing the overwhelming crowds when going out to town on January 2nd, highlighting the packed trains and general busyness. They lament the closed banks and ATMs during the holiday, making it impossible to withdraw money. Despite venturing out, they end up returning home without buying much. The focus then shifts to a random purchase, a globe designed as a soccer ball, described as an eco-shoot. This globe features satellite photos from January 1, 2000, meant to be a 21st century souvenir. However, the author humorously questions the point of this item, as it's unlikely to be used much as a soccer ball, and the satellite photos are from the previous year's New Year. The main issue they discover is that the weather was poor on January 1, 2000 in the Northern Hemisphere, and Japan is almost completely obscured by clouds in the satellite image, rendering it rather pointless as a visual representation of Japan. The author concludes by wryly pointing out the absurdity of the situation. This page features an interview with the vocal and dance group Color. They debuted in July 1999 and are promoting their fourth single, Rav and Business, Anata wo Aisuru, Watashi wo Aisuru. The interviewer notes the song has a cool and danceable sound, different from their previous R&B style, and mentions that the lyrics are profound and were written by a member of Porno Graffiti. The members discuss the depth of the lyrics, with one member saying they were told to sing it as if the meaning was clear, and another mentioning the theme is about raising the average value of happiness and boosting everyone's speed. They also talk about the meaning of their group name Color, explaining that it's meant to represent each member's individual color coming together to create a unique and unprecedented color, rather than just colors in plural, and emphasizing their individuality within the group and their connection through music and dance. Their future ambitions include wanting to perform more live shows and deliver powerful performances that stimulate the audience. The page concludes with a profile listing the members: Miyazato Ma, Toyama Nao, Danba Mayumi, and Kadota Komugi, and mentions their debut date and single releases. This page is an advertisement for the official strategy guide for the Dreamcast game, Mercurius Pretty. The guide promises to contain everything a player needs to know, including game flow, how to raise homunculi, parameter details, and event information. It is advertised as a comprehensive book for users and is currently on sale, spanning 160 pages and priced at 1,400 yen plus tax. The page includes screenshots from the game, showcasing characters and dialogue snippets, highlighting the fantasy simulation and alchemical education theme of Mercurius Pretty. This page presents a reader survey from Dreamcast Magazine, intended to gather feedback from its audience. The survey is structured with multiple choice questions covering various topics. Firstly, it asks for personal information including gender, age, and school or occupation. It then delves into the reader's magazine consumption habits, specifically asking about the magazines they frequently read, listing titles like Famitsu, V-Jump, and Dengeki PlayStation, and limiting responses to a maximum of 8. The survey further explores the reader's Dreamcast ownership, inquiring about the number of Dreamcast consoles they own, the types of Dreamcast hardware they possess from a list which includes standard controllers, VMUs, arcade sticks, and various accessories like fishing controllers and microphones. It also asks about the number of Dreamcast software titles they own and plan to purchase. The survey also asks for feedback on specific articles within the current issue of Dreamcast Magazine, prompting readers to rate the interestingness of articles and select their top 3 favorites from a provided list of article titles. The list of articles mentioned includes regular features like weekly Dream Magazine news, Dreamcast software review, and columns covering various topics such as game previews, developer interviews, and special features. Finally, the survey includes instructions on how to fill out the form correctly. This page is an advertisement for SoftBank Strategy Guides, promoting their weekly magazine. It highlights upcoming releases and strategy guides, mentioning big titles from Square Enix, Capcom's Biohazard Code, Veronica, and other SCEJ titles. The page showcases a lineup of strategy guides, currently available and upcoming in early and mid-February. These guides cover various platforms including Dreamcast, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and WonderSwan Color, and feature games like Phantasy Star Online, Project Justice, Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore, and Super Robot Wars Compact 2 Part 3. Prices are listed for each strategy guide. This page is the Hitmaker official page Hitmaker Trust, which emphasizes that content is more important than sales. It introduces the game Sega, a management simulation scheduled for release on March 29th, priced at 5,800 yen and exclusive to D-Direct. The page highlights the persuasion system, a key gameplay mechanic where you must persuade creators to join your project. Hatari is described as a powerful persuasion technique, almost like magic in an RPG, exemplified by the processing drop move, which overloads the Dreamcast with 200 million polygons to freeze opponents. Screenshots from Sega are featured, one with the phrase, "Bug is also part of the fun," another showing a game over screen, and a third with the humorous statement, "Games with polygons and such are unnecessary." The page also includes a side story section titled, Legend of R720, detailing the R720 amusement machine, described as the world's first atmospheric outer layer amusement machine and successor to the R360. Developed around 2020, it was designed to launch players outside the atmosphere using magnetic levitation, but due to various issues and an accident during testing, the R720 project was ultimately cancelled. This page introduces key elements of the Sega project. Yayoi Haneda, a Sega enthusiast and vital project member, is highlighted alongside the director, a respected leader. The game features the powerful heroine, Zul Gear Goddess. Voice actor memos reveal lines showcasing Haneda's Akihabara love and the director's intense experience with the game's name. Key development team members are also introduced, including the program team chief, design team chief, with a strained relationship with the former, and the strict A-team leader. Professor Asubin, known for Sega Mark II iGame strategy tips, is also mentioned. Finally, the page announces Sega pre-orders via Dreamcast Direct, emphasizing its mail order availability. Pre-orders include a Mega Drive-style VM. A limited edition is also offered, containing exclusive merchandise like a t-shirt and memo pad, all presented in a luxurious package. This page introduces Air Tricks, a new skateboard arcade game from Hitmaker, the creators of Top Skater. Described as a Soul of Skate 8, the game emphasizes trick-making on courses, similar to Top Skater, but with a significant feature called Rampage Time Mode. Tricks include combo, spin, and grind, just like real skateboarding, with special tricks unique to each character. The Game Style section highlights the core gameplay, focusing on trick execution within a course, with scores determined by trick difficulty. The Cabinet section details the unique foot controller, designed like a skateboard for realistic board operation. The cabinet itself is described as metallic blue, with neon lighting, and a woofer for enhanced sound. It mentions that the game is designed for 1 or 2 players, and is planned for release in arcades in February. The gameplay involves standing on the central board and using sidebars for balance and control. The game is designed to be durable despite requiring strong force for operation. This page is the official Hitmaker page showcasing AR Tri-X, their new skateboarding arcade game. It details the game's stages and characters. The stage section explains that the game features stages called Rampage, consisting of practice and normal courses. There are 3 courses in total, incorporating training areas. The normal stages are designed like U-shaped skateboard parks, with sponsor logos visibly placed throughout the stages. The character and sponsor section introduces the 5 playable characters in Air Tricks, each having unique characteristics and endorsements from well-known U.S. skateboard and streetwear brands. These brands provide in-game support, and their logos appear in the game. The characters and their sponsors are Jake with Chapman Skateboards, Spidey with Elwood, Tony with XYZ, Katie with Western Edition, and Linda with Aesthetics. Players can see sponsor logos throughout the game, and even purchase sponsored items in in-game shops. This page focuses on Phantasy Star Online and features an interview with Sonic Team discussing the mystery of PSO, delving into issues like server problems and section IDs that have been bothering players. They aim to address these concerns and explain why they occur, along with countermeasures. There's also an article titled Secret Weapon Acquisition Method Investigation Completed, detailing how to obtain mysterious weapons in PSO, presenting a complete guide to their acquisition. Another section presents reader-created Dreamcast quests for PSO, showcasing original quest ideas from players under the title AIM Bourgeoisie. The page features an interview with Mr. Rikuo Mikiyoshi, the director of PSO, discussing the popularity of the game and issues such as connection stability and cheat countermeasures. He mentions that the number of concurrent connections reached a peak of 17,000 during the New Year holidays after release. He notes that European servers sometimes experience drops, and acknowledges that the game sometimes freezes. He explains that connection issues can stem from various factors, including internet line quality and noise, suggesting users consult ISAO for solutions. Regarding cheat countermeasures, He describes them as a necessary but somewhat painful measure to address item loss due to disconnections and data manipulation. He mentions hearing player feedback about losing items even without cheating, and acknowledges that the countermeasures might be somewhat strict. He concludes by saying that good friendships can be made in the game. This PSO feature addresses disconnection issues, citing long cables, interference, and NTT's catch phone service as culprits. Solutions include shortening cables, separating modem cables from power lines, and contacting NTT. The article also notes potential issues for apartment residents due to close proximity of telephone and power cables within walls. An interview with programmers Akio Setsumasa and Satoshi Sakai continues. Setsumasa acknowledges player frustration with item loss and MAG resets. Sakai discusses server capacity, hinting at JP server expansion if connection numbers remain stable. He confirms Section ID specific item drop rates, intentionally designed to encourage team diversity, using Rejuria as an example. Sakai hints at future quests and events, emphasizing their multi-language development process, and expresses his enjoyment in observing player interaction, highlighting his goal of fostering beneficial communication within the game. This page is about acquiring the frying pan weapon in Phantasy Star Online, describing it as a secret weapon. The article details a quest walkthrough in offline mode to obtain it, involving talking to specific characters in town in a set order across 6 different quests: Deliverance of the Secret, Regal's Great Earth, String of the Thief, Grand Skull Route, Vanished Flower Girl, and Deliverance of the Secret again, with specific NPCs to speak to in each quest. The page also explains visual lobby actions, triggered by pressing Alt plus F1 to F12 keys on the keyboard, which allows for in-game character animations and gestures to communicate in the lobby. Finally, it mentions word lock, encouraging players to set passwords for online play and utilize emoticons like laughing face for laughter and cheeky smiley face for sticking your tongue out for better communication. This page details a special event for Phantasy Star Online called Akasaka PSO Dream Magazine Exploration Team. Aim for the highest amount of money. Bourgeoisie! It's a team-based quest where multiple teams compete to earn the most meseta. The rules involve forming teams, exploring areas, defeating bosses, and collecting items. A key point is balancing boss battles with item searching, as only the team that defeats a boss gets to keep the boss items. The page also highlights a mystery phenomenon, where transporting within the game can cause instability and disconnections, potentially leading to item loss, advising caution during telepipe use, and joining games in progress. There is a section encouraging players to send in their PSO-related questions to the PSO Dream Magazine Exploration Team, and a reader's gallery showcasing fan art. This page is an advertisement for the Phantasy Star Online Navigation Guide. It's currently on sale and packed with valuable strategy information for hunters to fully utilize. The guide covers everything from character creation to network connection, offering detailed explanations. It includes information beneficial for both online and offline play, thorough game system strategies, basic training methods, weapon and item data, enemy information, and technique explanations. This guide is a perfect guide for Phantasy Star Online, and was scheduled for release in early February 2001. Below this is an advertisement for a publication called Taigeki Graphs Sakura Winter Edition. It highlights Taigeki Star gravure photos. The text mentions Winter Gravure Fully Loaded. It features articles such as Winter Memories Chronicle, Water City, and Ogai Uji, talking about Sakura War's future. The price is 980 yen for 112 pages in full color. This page is an advertisement for the horror-adventure game Ill Bleed, announcing a 100,000 yen challenge Ill Bleed Tours event. It recalls a previous challenge at Tokyo Game Show 2000, where 6 brave challengers failed to clear Stage 1 and win 100,000 yen. Now, in February 2001, a revenge event is planned. The game, developed by Climax Graphics and published by Sega, is scheduled for release on March 29th, priced at 5,800 yen for the standard edition, with a at-Barai version price yet to be determined, and an ETC Value Land version also mentioned. It supports VGA output and rumble packs. The ad also provides a website address, http://www.cgstudio.co.jp/. This screenshot shows in-game action. This page continues the advertisement for the horror-adventure game Ill Bleed, detailing the 100,000 yen challenge. If you can clear stage 1 of Ill Bleed within 90 minutes at the event, you can win 100,000 yen. The event, held at Bit Tours in Shibuya, Tokyo on February 24th at 2 p.m., will have 2 monitors for simultaneous play, encouraging competition. It's mentioned that if you fail the challenge, your life is not guaranteed, but this is likely humorous hyperbole about the game's intense horror. Besides the challenge, there's a special pre-order campaign at BitTours, where you can get an exclusive ILBLEDQUO card. The campaign runs from the event day until the game's release date. The Ill Bleed gal will also be at the event, and staff from Climax Graphics, the developers, including Mr. Nishioka, will be there, hinting at possible announcements. The promotion director, Takayuki Otsuka, hopes the event will be exciting and enjoyed by Sega fans, particularly Sega Saturn and Sega Mania fans. He notes the 100,000 yen prize might be tough for first-time players, but achievable for those with prior knowledge. The page includes a map to Bit2Rs and store information like opening hours, address, phone number, and website. Screenshots include in-game action and the design of the special IL Bleed QUO card. This page details gameplay strategies for the Ill Bleed 100,000 yen challenge, emphasizing 3 core skills: judgment, using the horror monitor and sensors to detect traps; reasoning, observing the environment to anticipate danger; and reflexes, reacting quickly in combat. Players must overcome shock events, traps, and enemy battles, utilizing the horror monitor, visual/auditory cues, item management, stamina control, and evasion tactics. The challenge takes place on February 24th in Shibuya, Tokyo. Applications are accepted until February 13th and are open to everyone. Mr. Nishioka from Climax Graphics assures participants that the 100,000 yen prize is attainable with careful play and practice. The page also encourages photos and comments but warns against disruptive behavior. Screenshots provide visual examples of the gameplay mechanics. This page announces Round 9 of the BDC Licensee vs Dream Magazine Continuous Present Project, a recurring feature in Dreamcast Magazine. It is described as a Resentment Showdown and the third Deadly Battle Edition. The page details the rules of the competition, which is a barley to word system where Dream Magazine, Dorimaga, and licensee compete. If licensee wins, Dorimaga has to give them 1 page in the magazine. If Dorimaga wins, they get to give presents to readers. 50. Featured staff members from Dorimaga are introduced as revolutionary warriors and include Peach Isagomen, 30 years old; Ume, Masquerade No. 3, Sanba Team; Super J, Hongu; and Masquerade No. 1, 29 years old, Sanba Team. Each has a brief description and a special skill mentioned, like Peach's skill being rock, paper, scissors. The page also serves as an advert for presents for readers who apply using a postcard and application ticket from pages 98,103. The deadline is February 9th, 2001. The magazine team Climax Graphics are declared the winners in the away game. There are photos of the Climax Graphics team, including Ume and President Nishiura, and mentions they won against the Pins Bowler team. Finally, the page highlights the game Ill Bleed again, mentioning its release date of March 29th for 5,800 yen, and also mentions, etc., Virtual Horrorland. The present for this round is a Star Wars Episode 1, Anakin's Pod Helmet, available for 1 lucky winner. The next page presents 2 competitions, Round 10 and Round 11. Round 10 pits Genki against Super J from Dream Magazine. This section promotes Shutoku Battle 2, Tokyo Highway Challenge 2, a racing game from Genki, noting its release date in June 2000 and price. It mentions the RAC, racing game, genre, and praises its realistic depiction of Tokyo highways and unique rival battle system. Also featured is Supermagnetic Neo, Neo Geo, Supermagnetic Neo, described as a new type action software. Prizes for this round are from Victor Interactive Software, offering Tricolor Crisis-related items to 4 winners, including an art palette, 2 posters, and a comic. Round 11 is Sega Toys versus Curry Panman and Bikenman, who are presented as bad guys and friends you want to rely on. This section highlights Sega Toys games, specifically Boku Doraemon. Doraemon. Boku Doraemon. A simulation adventure game released in January 2001, praised for its engaging story for all ages. Another game mentioned is Anpanman, Big Game Picture Book, described as a large game picture book featuring popular characters Anpanman, Baikenman, and Dokinchan, with photos of staff dressed as these characters holding the board games. The prize for this round, for 2 winners, is a Pucci, limited edition model, and a Momiji Pucci, marking a 1,000,000-unit sales celebration.
This page introduces 2 more rounds of competitions, Round 12 and Round 13. Round 12 is Softmax vs Samba Team and focuses on card games, suggesting a battle of luck. Softmax is described as having a basic, fighting spirit stance. The Samba Team includes Masquerade 1 and Masquerade 3. It seems they played cards with new trump cards from Nintendo. One prize, for 1 person, is the Old Maid card game. Another prize, for 3 people, is a set of Golf Shiyuyo, Soft and Golf Shiyuyo, Course Collection and Golf Shiyuyo, Adventure Edition, append discs. The game mentioned, Golf Shiyuyo 2 Aratanaru Stage, Let's Play Golf 2 New Stage, was released on January 25, 2001, and costs 5,800 yen. It's described as a popular golf game with network battles. Round 13 is SE vs Peach Isagomen. Peach Isagomen, from the Dream Magazine editorial department, who is described as 30 years old, has undergone remodeling surgery to win reader prizes. It mentions a Janken, rock-paper-scissors, competition against the Shinkawa Company, where Peach Isagomen challenges them. The prize for 1 person is advertised as being from Shinkawa Company, with 1p being offered. The text also features a photo of Peach Isagomen wearing a pink mask. This page is an advertisement for a Macross M3 campaign, where purchasing a limited edition box set gets you a lucky number laminate card for a chance to win prizes. The top prize is a 1/24 scale VF-1S Fighter Valkyrie model kit from Macross, and only 1 person will win this. Another prize is a plastic model of Amelia VF-1A J1/S, manufactured by Hasegawa, and there are 50 of these to be won. There are also 50 prizes of Max and Yamato Macross Complete Transformation Series VF-11B Thunderbolt figures. Additionally, 100 people can win the Macross M3 Soundfile Mini Soundtrack CD from Victor Entertainment, which was released on February 21st. 5 people can win the Macross M3 Dreamcast game software. 20 people can win Macross M3 posters, and there is also a prize of original neck straps available too, likely for a smaller number of winners, though the number isn't explicitly stated. The advertisement encourages readers to visit the official homepage to get a hidden machine password and other information related to the Macross series Dreamcast game. The URL is provided as http://www.shueisha.co.jp/enter/m3/. This page focuses on the Dreamcast game Marionette Handler 2 and introduces the character Nami, who is the model for the in-game Navichan. The page has a Street Rumor Beauty Direct Hit feature about Nami, who is described as a Marks navigator and personality donor within the game. Her profile states she was born on the moon in 2071 and is considered an excellent student. There is a special interview with Nami, where she explains that a personality donor is the person who provides the basis for the character's personality in the game, in this case, Navichan. She mentions being selected through a general application process and expresses her surprise and excitement about being chosen. She also shares her current addiction is coffee, specifically a blend from Sumiyaki Kissa. Finally, she comments on her bold swimsuit for the photo shoot and asks for reader feedback. The page also highlights a Round 14 robot dog born in 2 Micronet vs. Super J feature, which seems to be related to a rock-paper-scissors style game involving robot dogs within Marionette Handler 2. It mentions that Super J, who won previously, can now only choose rock, creating a strategic challenge. As a present for readers, there are 2 sets of prizes to be won: Marionette Handler, 2 stickers, and handmade Navichan keychains made by Micronet.
This page delves into the video system story, celebrating their journey into the 21st century. It highlights that their first foray into Sega consoles was with Super Volleyball on the Mega Drive. The article explains how Video System, initially focused on arcade games, expanded into home consoles starting in Kyoto. They are known for their F1 Grand Prix series, which transitioned from arcades to home consoles, capturing the hearts of many fans. The page then focuses on F1 World Grand Prix for Dreamcast, emphasizing its pursuit of realism. It details the game's ambition to be a genuine F1 experience on home consoles, highlighting the graphical improvements and sound design that captures the essence of real F1 racing, aiming for a truly immersive experience. The developers strive for realism in the circuits, car details, and even the sound of actual F1 engines, showcasing their dedication to recreating the thrill of Formula One. There's also a humorous comic strip segment titled Round 15 Battle Situation, depicting a rivalry between Video System and Hongu, seemingly a lighthearted internal company anecdote. Finally, the page announces a present section, where 3 lucky readers can win a copy of F1 World Grand Prix 2 for Dreamcast, showcasing the game's box art and promoting it as a must-have Dreamcast title for F1 enthusiasts, emphasizing its official license, real driver names, and immersive gameplay. This page is dedicated to reader-submitted back techniques, essentially tips and hidden features for games. The first game featured is Konami's Silent Scope, a light gun shooter. It reveals hidden modes and commands, detailing how to activate things like a hidden mode where enemies become invisible, a scope reticleless mode removing the crosshair, a pink mode changing the screen color to pink and altering the BGM, and a 1-int mode. The commands involve button presses and directional inputs. Next, it covers Marionette Handler, noting hidden minigames that appear based on story mode completion. Dream Kiss Combination unlocks after seeing 4 character endings in story mode, and Rock Paper Scissors Fight after seeing 8. These minigames are found in the Tatsumi Techno Dome area. The page also explains how to customize stages and rules in Marionette Handler during tournament selection. By pressing X and Y, players can access stage and rule options before battles, allowing for personalized tournament experiences. Finally, there's a call for readers to submit their own game tips to Dreamcast Magazine Back Technique Plaza. Prizes are offered for the best submissions, a Dreamcast software game for top-tier submissions, and book vouchers for others. The page provides the submission address for readers to send in their hidden techniques and game secrets. This page showcases the upcoming Dreamcast game features in this issue, presenting a roadmap of articles and strategy guides for various titles. The Dorimaga strategy team highlights helpful gameplay tips and information for games including Eldorado Gate Volume 3, Street Fighter Alpha 3 for matching service, Power Jet Racing 2001, Close 2, In Prayer Hill, Fighting Vipers 2, Ultimate Fighting Championship, Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, GigaWing 2, Daytona USA 2001, J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru, Guilty Gear X, Rival Schools, United by Fate, and Boku Doraemon. This page is a preview for Eldorado Gate Volume 3. It highlights the key attractions of the upcoming volume, focusing on Chapter 7, titled To the Sunken City. The page details the character Kanan, who was introduced in Chapter 2, Trial, to Kanan. To atone for sins, she undertook 5 trials of masks, but now suffers from a curse, losing voice, sound, and light every day. Chapter 7 focuses on the sunken cave and the town of Venice. The main characters, including Gomezu, Radia, Eren, and Akin, unite to confront their fate. This chapter is said to be the series' first long-form story, promising enhanced strategic gameplay. It also teases a super-gigantic monster, described as an octopus-shaped robot, appearing in a pump tower. Further highlights of Chapter 7 include Kanan's continued struggles with the mask's curse, and her encounter with the Dark God in a trial. The preview suggests players will witness scenes of Kanan calling for help and facing the trial alone. The page also hints at special skills players can learn and emphasizes the exciting and curious elements of Chapter 7. Eldorado Gate Volume 3 is described as a serial unit RPG and was slated for release on February 2nd at a price of 2,800 yen, 120 points. It is mentioned to include a Warashib event, trading event, as a new feature. This page is about Eldorado Gate Volume 3 and focuses on Chapter 8, titled Pamela Recalls. The chapter revolves around Pamela, a skilled swordswoman who has lost her memory, but is a multi-talented fighter capable of using various weapons. She was helped by Bantros, who sensed a demonic presence within her. The page questions if Kanan will revive, which is connected to the events of Chapter 7, where she faced trials and a mask curse. Chapter 8 highlights include Pamela regaining her memory using a memory box and being pursued by a character named Titan. There's also a character who resembles inventor Max Simo from Venice, who appeared in Chapter 7. The setting appears to be shifting underwater, potentially linked to the Sunken City theme from Chapter 7. The Warashib event is detailed as a treasure hunt around the Venice region. This event involves trading items to acquire increasingly valuable ones, and a mysterious paper item is mentioned as part of this trading process. This page focuses on Eldorado Gate Volume 3, with staff insights on scenario creation and event direction, particularly comparing RPG event design to film. The director stresses player immersion through visuals and sound. The page details the game's evolution, noting Volume 2's additions like a download store, Whoop Gabri function, encyclopedia, and combat refinements. Volume 3 introduces enhanced shops, a monster gallery, and an O-Make bonus mode. A Q&A advises players that starting from any volume is acceptable, although earlier starts offer a richer experience. The page also mentions the availability of limited-time items and includes screenshots showcasing the game's visual style. The next page is dedicated to Street Fighter 03 Saikyoryu Dojo for matching service, the Dreamcast version of Street Fighter Alpha 3. It highlights a new feature called OR ISM Edit. OR ISM is explained as a personalized ISM that is different from the standard ZISM, XISM, and VISM modes. It's obtained and developed through the World Tour mode by earning ISM Plus and leveling up. The page details the OR ISM Edit feature, where players can use points earned in World Tour mode and ISM PLSS to customize their character's stats and abilities. Players start with 1,000 points, which can be allocated to attributes and ISM PLUS. These edited characters can be used in network battles. It mentions that stronger OR ISM characters can be created by clearing different game modes and accumulating points. Screenshots illustrate the edit screens where players allocate points to status parameters such as attack, defense, guard, and stamina, and choose ISM PLUS abilities. It also shows in-game action with edited characters in matches. The page also mentions that clearing certain conditions in arcade mode unlocks Raging Island in World Tour mode, which offers special ISM PLS items. Edited characters from OR ISM can also be used in arcade mode. This page introduces Power Jet Racing 2001, a power jet racing game that promises beautiful courses and exhilarating waterbike action. The feature highlights two newly included courses in this installment. The page focuses on the Amazon course, set in a jungle and flowing through a vast river. The description emphasizes the wild and dense tropical rainforest setting of the Amazon, offering a jungle course with a large river. Players will race through jungle areas, navigating rapids and waterfalls, enhancing the thrilling race experience. It details how the courses are designed, with jump platforms and precipitous waterfalls, allowing players to catch big air and perform tricks. The courses are also said to have various gimmicks beyond just jumps, including shortcuts and hidden paths to discover and utilize for an advantage. The page also includes a section titled World's Water Surface Amazon Is, which provides some background information about the Amazon River, stating it is the largest river in the world, flowing through the tropical rainforest of South America and Brazil, spanning a vast area and length, home to unique wildlife like the pirarucu fish, and is a source of natural rubber. This page continues the feature on Power Jet Racing 2001 and introduces the Roma course. This course is set in a waterlogged version of Rome, Italy, featuring famous landmarks and ancient ruins now submerged in water. Players will navigate through a technically challenging course with old stone pillars and overturned cars, while also needing to utilize brakes effectively due to the water. The page highlights that the Roma course offers different layouts, short, middle, and long, providing varied racing experiences even within the same location. It also mentions that the game features cityscapes and overturned cars as part of the course design. The Roma Is section describes Rome as the capital of Italy and Europe, rich in ancient history, with landmarks like the Colosseum and Pantheon, noting its historical significance and cultural aspects like soccer, Ferrari, and the Mouth of Truth. It humorously points out that Rome doesn't actually flood due to rain. This page introduces the adventure game Close to Prayers Hill. The game is described as a romance adventure focusing on cute girls drawn by the artist Godo, and features a room part where players can explore the heroine Yuna's room. The page announces the voice cast for the 4 main heroines. Mayuko Omimura voices Yuna Kashiwagi. In her interview, she describes the game as filled with lots of people's happy things. She felt it was fate to be cast in this role and found the illustrations cute and kind. She hopes her voice acting will convey Yuna's gentle and kind nature. Mai Nakahara voices Shoko Shiomi. She describes her character as a Tsukomi type, comparing her to a Nagoya dialect-speaking girl. She mentions the gap between her usual self and the character, as she doesn't usually play the Tsukomi role. Ri Kugimiya voices Koyuki Tachibana. She found the character designs to be emotionless initially, but was impressed by the expressiveness in the game, and felt it was a good match for her. Miyu Matsuki voices Mai Sakizaka. She initially thought Mai was just a cute and pure girl from the illustrations. However, she found her to be more lively and energetic like a younger sister, and aims to portray her with childish charm. The page highlights the voice actors' enthusiasm and initial impressions of their characters, and the game, Close to Prayers Hill. Close to Prayers Hill features a room part gameplay mechanic allowing players to interact with Yuna. The core mechanic is sending thoughts via camera, enabling players to influence Yuna's actions within her room. Screenshots illustrate these interactions, showcasing Yuna's reactions. Interviews with voice actresses continue. Mai Nakahara, Shoko, aims to portray her character's vulnerability. Ri Kugimiya, Koyuki, highlights the character's expressive depth. Miyu Matsuki, Mai, seeks to portray a childish appeal. The actresses discuss the game's themes of human relationships, loss, astral projection, and memory loss. They hope to convey the emotional weight and warmth within the story, expressing sadness over the disappearance of loved ones. They wish for players to enjoy this poignant narrative. This page is dedicated to hidden elements in Fighting Vipers 2. It reveals special features for the character Honey, including unique costume colors, a way to remove her skirt during gameplay, and a peeping skirt lift move. To unlock Honey's special colors, you need to achieve Super Knockouts, SKO, across all 6 stages. The page details how to make Honey lose her skirt by achieving 30 consecutive wins in Chaos Battle, and then executing a specific command after armor is broken. Another quirky feature is the Picky Skirt Lift, which requires 10 consecutive wins in Chaos Battle, and performing a board slap command to create wind and lift her skirt. For Raxel, there's a fun detail. By holding left on the directional pad during mode selection, his guitar changes to a flying V, reminiscent of his guitar from the previous Fighting Vipers game. Lastly, the page uncovers a hidden victory pose for Bon. In a stunned state after winning with a specific command, Bon will perform a special Man Effect victory pose if you hold down certain buttons. The page also mentions a hidden camera feature for round starts in arcade or random mode. By holding up on the directional pad while starting a round, players can experience different camera angles during the stage intros. The next page focuses on Del Sol in Fighting Vipers 2, highlighting him as the Sun Warrior. To unlock Del Sol, you must play in random mode and defeat him to make him playable. Delsol's story describes him as a mysterious fighter with a masked face, drawing comparisons to Marler in fighting style. He's considered a bizarre character, even participating in the UFC within the game's lore. The page provides a full command list for Delsol's moves, categorized by command and type. It also gives 3 gameplay tips for mastering Del SOL. Tip 1 suggests his basic performance is similar to Marler, so Marler players should find him easy to use. Tip 2 emphasizes using the X+Y attack to control the pace of the fight and initiate throws from stopped motion to break guards. Tip 3 focuses on utilizing Delsol's 2 main strengths, using the XX+Y combo for upper-level attacks and the down+Y directional attack for lower-level hits to break guard. The tips advise varying attack levels to keep opponents guessing. The page also showcases Delsol's 1P and 2P model colors and his winning poses, including normal, defeated, and perfect victory poses. Mystery Soldier Kun, a Viper-type fighter enhanced with Virtua Fighter data, is a hidden character in Fighting Vipers 2. Possessing superior speed and power, his origins and motivations remain unknown. He appears only after meeting specific gameplay conditions like quick stage clears or reaching Marler via continues. To defeat Kun, The page suggests using push attacks early on, focusing on mid-level attacks like back plus X plus Y and down plus Y plus circle to control the fight, and varying attack levels to break defenses. The page also features character notes detailing Kun's backstory, color variations, and winning poses. A full command list is provided, detailing all of Kun's moves. Kun can be unlocked by fulfilling certain in-game conditions like unlocking hidden elements or achieving master rank in training mode, unlocking his original color scheme as well. The next page focuses on BM from Fighting Vipers 2, who is described as the worst mayor. It explains that BM is a powerful boss character in the arcade version, but is playable in the Dreamcast version. To use BM, you need to defeat him in arcade mode or random mode with a stage knockout, SKO. The page details BM's character notes, mentioning his attire and color variations. It shows his winning poses, both Tide Death and Complete Victory. The story section describes him as the city's worst mayor and the strongest, with a dark side. There are gameplay tips for fighting BM. Tip 1 suggests using CPU matches to practice against BM by repeatedly fighting him in a specific stage and utilizing moves like throws and guard breaks. Tip 2 advises on the basic strategy against BM, emphasizing no mercy and GA performance, stating that even a slight touch from BM's combos can be devastating due to their guard-breaking and mid-level attack properties. The advice is to be aggressive and use continuous attacks to overwhelm him and break his guard. It also shows tips on how to seal it, suggesting using rising attacks to launch BM into the air and then following up with combos. The page also contains a full command list for BM, detailing his various moves and button combinations. The next page is a Q&A corner dedicated to Fighting Vipers 2. The first question is about how to deal with guard attacks or GA, and the answer is to use throws or attacks that can bypass the guard. The next question is about what to do after you have floated an opponent, suggesting that you need to carefully observe the opponent's reaction and aerial recovery to follow up with attacks. It's pointed out that while aerial recovery is versatile, it has vulnerabilities, especially when landing. Another question addresses the difficulty some players have with throw escapes, and it explains the directional inputs needed to perform them successfully. It also mentions that you can even counterattack after a throw escape. The page then emphasizes throw escapes, detailing specific command inputs to practice escaping both GA throws and TG throws, and encouraging players to master these skills. This page continues the Fighting Vipers 2 strategy guide with a Q&A section focusing on advanced techniques. The first question addresses armor breaking, asking if it's always necessary to break both upper and lower armor. The answer emphasizes that breaking both upper and lower armor is ideal for maximizing damage and gaining a significant advantage, as it allows for uninterrupted combos. The table lists recommended armor breaking techniques for various characters including Ban, Piki, Tokyo, Sandman, Emmy, Jane, Honey, Grace, Charlie, Marler, Del Sol, Khan, and BM, showing character names, move names, and command inputs. The next question deals with opponents who repeatedly use the same strong moves. The advice is to guard against these predictable attacks, and after guarding about 3 times, the game's SSS system will make the opponent's repeated moves less effective, creating an opening for a counterattack. This system resets each round. The final question is about TG, or turning guard usage, asking how it differs from GA, or guard attack. The answer explains that while TG is similar to GA in its basic function, it's more strategically used in combos and can break through guards. It highlights that TG escapes can be performed even against guard-breaking moves like BM's Y attack, allowing for counterattacks and shifting to a more advantageous position on the opponent's side. The page concludes by encouraging players to aggressively utilize TG in their strategies. This page introduces Golf Lesson 2, a Dreamcast game for learning the basics of golf, set in the Zimbabwe course. It is presented as beginner-friendly, addressing the initial difficulties players might encounter. The page starts by recommending the character Gina, known for her power, as a good starting point. It then moves into gameplay mechanics, with sections explaining different aspects of the game. The Net Round section introduces online play, explaining that players need to purchase a play ticket and can then gather in lobbies to play together. The Control section discusses shot stability, explaining the gauge and how exceeding 100% power affects the shot area, making it smaller. Spin explains how to control the ball's trajectory using spin during shots. Luck is described as a parameter influenced by character selection, affecting elements like wind influence, and chances of sinking putts. Wise explains that this parameter relates to the character's intelligence and influences CPU-controlled play, as well as the grid display size for predicted landing points, highlighting its importance in strategic gameplay. The page includes a shot power section, explaining that normal shots can reach up to 120% power, but with a reduced shot area. This page continues the Golf Lesson 2 guide, focusing on gameplay techniques for the Zimbabwe course. It starts with Explanation 1 about uphill and downhill shots, detailing how these affect the shot trajectory and distance, advising caution on downhill shots due to increased roll. Explanation 2 discusses ball trajectory, explaining high, medium, and low trajectories and how they are influenced by course conditions and impact obstacles, with low trajectories being more affected by ground conditions. An advice section for hole 1 recommends attacking from the right side of the course, especially as the green is elevated, warning against aiming left due to potential severe consequences for subsequent shots. Explanation 3 explains fade and draw shots, clarifying that these are natural ball rotations influenced by wind and spin. Fade shots curve to the left, while draw shots curve to the right. Finally, another advice section for hole 6 suggests aiming to the right of the bunker during the tee shot, cautioning against overhitting to avoid trees obstructing the second shot. The page uses screenshots to illustrate these points in-game. The next page continues the golf guide, now focusing on ball control and scoring strategies. Explanation 4 details ball rotation and trajectory changes, illustrating how slice and hook shots alter the ball's path, using red and yellow lines to show the effects of fade, draw, slice, and hook. Explanation 5 is about lie conditions, advising players to consider the ball's position and use the LEI icon to understand the slope of the green, aiming for flatter areas for better shots. There's also advice on using the rough and spin to navigate the course, particularly around bunkers and greens, suggesting backspin or rough play to control the ball and avoid hazards. For tee shots, aiming for gently sloping areas in the center is recommended to avoid trees. The page also provides tips on how to efficiently earn GP, golf points, explaining that GP is used to buy clubs and costumes and can be earned through mini-games and regular gameplay rounds. Finally, a score bonus table lists GP rewards for achievements such as a hole-in-one, which awards 10,000 GP, Albatross 5,000 GP, Eagle 1,000 GP, Birdie 100 GP, Par, Bogey, Chip-in bonus for 300 GP, and longest carry bonus. This page continues the golf strategy guide, focusing on approach shots and putting techniques for Let's Play Golf 2. Explanation 6 emphasizes the importance of approach shots, explaining that there are two types, normal and approach. It notes that approach shots are crucial for getting close to the pin, especially when the green is elevated or sloped. The guide highlights that approach shots result in a straight trajectory, making distance control and landing point prediction easier, especially for players who struggle with fade and draw shots. Explanation 7 covers putting strategies, identifying putting as the most delicate aspect of golf. It explains that the red parts of the grid indicate uphill slopes, while blue represents downhill, assisting players in reading the green. The guide suggests aiming for a power level that allows the ball to stop about 1 to 2 yards past the cup. A power adjustment table is provided, showing percentage adjustments based on the height difference. For example, 0.1 yards uphill requires a plus 10% power adjustment, while 0.1 yards downhill requires a 5% adjustment. The page concludes by previewing the next installment, which will introduce characters, clubs, and ball information. It also points out that Dreamcast PC wallpapers are included in the magazine. This page is dedicated to providing gameplay strategies for Ultimate Fighting Championship. It focuses on ground fighting techniques, starting with how to initiate a tackle and transition to ground control. The guide explains the importance of tackles for taking the fight to the ground and controlling the opponent. It details how to defend against tackles, emphasizing the importance of timing button presses and avoiding simply mashing buttons, which is stated as NG or no good. The page then delves into joint techniques, explaining how to apply them effectively from a dominant ground position. It differentiates between good and bad ways to escape joint locks and how to transition from different positions. The guide further breaks down strategies for mount positions, advising on how to apply pressure and deliver punches from the top, and how to escape from the bottom mount by guarding and changing posture. It warns against excessive button mashing when on the bottom, and stresses the importance of timing and technique for successful escapes and transitions. The page also gives input commands like LP plus PK and LK plus RK and LP plus RP to perform certain moves, detailing the actions these inputs perform, like knee kicks or transitioning to back position. The guide emphasizes that in ground fighting, getting caught in a bad position can mean the end of the fight. The next page continues the strategy guide for Ultimate Fighting Championship, focusing on ground fighting tactics from guard, bottom, and back mount positions. From the guard position, the guide advises observing the opponent, using feints before punches, and catching opponent's punches to transition to a mount position. It also mentions changing posture with specific button inputs, and while joint techniques are possible from guard, they are considered risky. For the bottom position, the guide highlights the possibility of reversals and emphasizes catching punches as a key tactic to regain advantage and transition to mount. Changing posture with button inputs is also mentioned for escaping bottom position. Punching from the bottom guard is deemed risky, although skilled players might employ joint locks. Finally, the guide discusses back mount position strategies, recommending an aggressive approach from the top with continuous strikes. For the fighter on the bottom and back mount, the advice is to focus on resisting, defending, and aiming to survive until the next round. It emphasizes enduring and guarding to get out of this disadvantageous situation. This guide details combat styles for several UFC fighters. Tito Ortiz uses orthodox striking, emphasizing combinations like right punch to left step left punch. Frank Shamrock blends striking with tackles, using counter hits and techniques like front step right punch to left kick. Tsuyoshi Kosaka excels in ground fighting with his TK scissors, relying on counter hits and transitioning to the ground. Mark Coleman uses powerful punches and versatile takedowns, employing combinations like left punch to left punch. Guy Mezger is a ground control specialist who uses left punch to maintain distance and sets up attacks like front step left punch, along with ground-based techniques. The guide hints at game mechanics that consider factors like fighter age and stamina recovery. This page continues the Ultimate Fighting Championship Strategy Guide, showcasing more fighters and their in-game tactics. Pat Miletich is presented as a versatile fighter who uses varied strikes, especially the front LP plus RP uppercut. Marco Ruas utilizes diverse strikes and combos, emphasizing powerful combinations from kicks like RK, RP, LK, LP. Matt Hughes is known for his quick mount transitions and takedowns, like LP plus LK, LK, for ground control. Andre Roberts is depicted as a heavy hitter with powerful strikes and a long reach, using LP, LP combos and powerful single blows. Jeremy Horn is a tricky fighter who uses counterattacks and ground submissions, highlighted with moves like front step LP plus RP plus RK. Finally, Chuck Liddell is described as a kick-focused fighter, utilizing long-range kicks such as LK and combinations like RK, LP, RK to finish opponents. The guide emphasizes understanding each fighter's style and exploiting their strengths in the game. This page is a strategy guide for Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, offering tips for players. It starts with one-point advice, suggesting players should use dash attacks to defeat sharks by hitting them from the side or back, and use sonar to display the map. The 4 techniques section advises on activating skills by touching trigger stones, and warns about poisonous creatures like jellyfish that can reduce health. The guide then focuses on Level 01 Aquamarine Bay, Departure, presenting a walk-through flowchart. Step 1 involves talking to parent whales, which triggers a demon invasion event after the whale's dialogue. Step 2 is about finding the baby whale trapped in location B, collapsed rock mass, requiring players to talk to it. Step 3 instructs players to seek help from companions at location C, start point, by talking to 2 friendly dolphins. This leads to location D, pond, to progress to level 2. The guide emphasizes interacting with creatures and using special abilities to navigate and progress through the level. This guide summarizes strategies for 2 levels in Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future. Level 2, Perils of the Coral Reef, tasks players with navigating strong currents to reach point G. This requires learning to swim against the current found within the giant shark's mouth and using Echo's echo to manipulate enemies. Key steps involve rescuing a sea turtle for the sea turtle song, using the fish song to navigate a tunnel with poisonous fish, and luring a shark to acquire a power skill. Level 3, Trial without error focuses on reaching locations D and E while avoiding falling rocks. Players must find a hidden dolphin, defeat sharks, and obtain the power skill. Specific actions include using trigger stones to defeat sharks, dropping rocks to open a cave, and distracting an octopus with the help of a dolphin to bypass it. The next page continues the strategy guide for Level 4 of Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, titled Giant Maze Escape. This level is described as a complex maze where 90% of the area is underwater, making air supply crucial. The guide outlines 6 steps to clear the level. Step 1 involves acquiring the air skill at location A, Rock Shadow.
This skill is essential for extending underwater exploration time.
Step 2 directs players to location C, Dolphin Pond, to catch yellow and blue fish. Step 3 tasks players with obtaining the eel song at the same Dolphin Pond. C. This song is taught by a dolphin in exchange for the fish caught in the previous step and is used to lure eels. Step 4 guides players to location E, Eel's Nest, where they must use the eel song to guide an eel and safely pass through the eel's territory. Step 5 instructs players to go to location Level 2 Hole to obtain the sonar skill. This skill is essential for progressing further. Finally, Step 6 leads to location I, Crocodile Rock, where players must use the sonar skill to break a crocodile-shaped rock blocking the path to Level 7 and the level's completion. The guide emphasizes the importance of efficient actions and managing skill duration for successful completion. This guide details the locations of Vitality Stones in Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, which boost Echo's health. Level 1 has 5 stones. Under an arch rock, from the fish-catching minigame, in front of a waterfall, atop a rock near a whale, and near palm tree branches. Level 2 offers 4. By winning the race, near the Elder Dolphin, within the Giant Shark's Tunnel, and in the Dark Tunnel. Level 3 features 5. Near the Trigger Stone, after rescuing baby dolphins near 3 dolphins, in front of a hammerhead shark, between crystals in a tunnel, and in Taco's Cave. Level 4's 5 locations are on the left side of White Crystals, above the pond of the Song of Ray Dolphin, in the pond of a Giant Ray, behind Blue Crystals, and on the roof of the Wide Pond, after using the sonar skill. This GigaWing 2 guide focuses on high-score strategies. Scoring is based on base score multiplied by magnification. The guide recommends prioritizing high magnification items, +1, +3, +5, +10, +50, to maximize points. Boss strategies are provided for stages 1 to 3. For Gimel, City Stage, target legs first. Use reflect attacks on the main body and anticipate missiles. For Diletto, Cloud Sea Stage, utilize the Volcanon weapon for 5 to 6 hits, avoiding the center during blue bullet attacks. For Yudo, Factory Stage, focus Volcanon on the small engine. Use reflect during red rapid fire, and move to the sides during transformations and bullet patterns. Point values for destroying specific boss parts are also included.
This strategy guide covers the latter half of GigaWing 2, focusing on stages 4 and 5. Stage 4, Sanctuary, requires heavy use of reflect force, especially against floating gun emplacements and high-speed battleships. The guide details boss VAV's attack patterns, including red shockwaves and blast bombs, offering point values for different parts of the boss, and emphasizing reflect force for countering attacks. Stage 5 focuses on the boss, SAMEF, with the strategy prioritizing boss defeat over destroying smaller enemies to avoid time running out. It explains SAMEF's attacks, like arrow-like movements and bit attacks, and suggests optimal positioning and timing for reflect force use to effectively counter each attack. The guide advises players to focus on a cool-headed repetition of these tactics. Screenshots likely accompany the text, illustrating attack patterns. The next page is a strategy guide for Daytona USA 2001 on Dreamcast. It focuses on the 3 original courses in the Dreamcast version: Mermaid Lake, Circuit Pixie, and Grasshopper. The Mermaid Lake section highlights the final corner as the most challenging part, advising to take the racing line and use the left side curb of the course, whilst being careful on the grassy edges. The target time is 43 seconds, 700 milliseconds. Circuit Pixie is described as a full oval course that is seemingly easy but requires precise driving due to the high speeds. It advises against drifting and focuses on maintaining speed and avoiding mistakes for a target time of 17 seconds, 700 milliseconds. Grasshopper, described as suitable for beginners, is the easiest course.
It recommends using slipstreaming. The guide suggests the Hornet as the main car for tackling these courses, but also mentions other cars. The Falcon is described as stable and easier to handle, good for slipstreaming but slower top speed. The Lightning is described as overwhelmingly fast, but prone to losing control, suggesting a central course line is necessary for safe driving. This Daytona USA 2001 strategy guide focuses on 2 corners and 2 secret cars. For Rin Rink, avoid excessive drifting, brake fully, shift to 3rd gear, and use half throttle. Aim to maintain a speed above 230 km per hour. Approach the final corner at full speed in 4th gear, using an out-and-out line and turning in late. 2 secret cars are Rule of the Nines and Javelin.
Rule of the Nines offers high acceleration and top speed but low grip, 50, 85, 85 speed. It's unlocked by mirror finish scores. Javelin has extreme speed, 20, 100, 100, requiring advanced skills and over 100 hours of gameplay to unlock. The Rule of the Nines design blends classic racing styles, and the Javelin design is inspired by jet fighters.
The next page is a strategy guide for Saskatsuku, J-League Pro Soccer Club O Sukuru. It emphasizes the importance of clubhouse facilities for player development to create a strong club. The article details various facilities like the Speed Gym for improving reaction speed and running speed, the Power Gym for enhancing kicking power and stamina, and the Tactics Room for tactical understanding. Other facilities mentioned are the buffet, lounge, sauna, massage room, data analysis room, pool, recreation room, and medical room, each with specific benefits like reducing fatigue, improving player satisfaction, and preventing injuries. The page shows examples of how having a pool or a medical room affects player stamina and injury rates after 1 year of club development, demonstrating the tangible benefits of investing in these facilities. It also hints at special facilities like a supporter exchange room and a high-tech gym that can be unlocked under certain conditions. Sakatsuku, J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru, emphasizes stadium facilities as vital for club revenue and improvement. Facilities evolve, adding features like VIP rooms. Profit from shops, coffee, fast food, etc., directly correlates with attendance. Amusement, relaxation rooms, and report rooms generate profit and enhance popularity or viewership, respectively. Parking increases attendance by a fixed amount. Upgrade times for facilities vary. Specific examples demonstrate financial impact. Owned. Amusement at Stadium LV3 with 45,000 spectators earns between 1,263 and 2,112 million yen depending on the level. Seasonal revenue fluctuations exist, notably affecting ice cream shops.
Broadcasting rooms increase viewership. Parking significantly boosts attendance, exemplified by a jump from 20,039 to 27,109 spectators with a parking lot. The next page delves into a character performance ranking and explanation for the fighting game, Guilty Gear X. It analyzes character abilities based on data from the game's arcade mode across 16 playable characters. The page highlights 4 key ranking categories. Ranking 1. Forward speed. This ranking focuses on the forward movement speed of characters, noting that Chip is ranked first, exceeding Milia and Zato in speed. Faust and Potemkin are at the bottom of this ranking. Ranking 2. Backward speed. This ranking focuses on backward movement speed, with Faust surprisingly taking the top spot. It is explained that Faust's backward speed allows him to maintain distance and utilize his long-range attacks effectively. Ranking 3. Dash.
This section examines dash performance, specifically, initial dash speed and acceleration, mentioning Chip is number 1.
Ranking 4. Backstep.
This ranking covers backstep performance, considering speed, duration, and invincibility frames. Mei is ranked as number 1 in backstep. The page includes tables of data for each ranking category, listing characters and their corresponding performance values. It also includes screenshots of the game in action during gameplay to illustrate the points being made about character movement and abilities. The next page continues the Guilty Gear X character performance analysis. Ranking 5 examines Air Dash, highlighting Milia as number 1 for her speed. Ranking 6 is Air Step, where Dizzy is ranked first emphasizing movement in the air. Ranking 7 focuses on jump overall, where Chip takes the top position, considering jump height and falling speed. Ranking 8 analyzes high jump overall, with Biken ranked first, looking at initial and horizontal jump speeds. The page also includes a section on tension gauge increase during specific actions like walking and dashing, showing that characters like Chip and Axel have different rates of tension gauge accumulation compared to others.
This page continues the Guilty Gear X character deep dive with more rankings. Ranking 9 is defense overall, where Potemkin is ranked number 1 as the top defender, with a significant defense power difference compared to the lowest ranked character, Chip. Ranking 10 covers guard gauge overall, and surprisingly Faust is in first place. This ranking analyzes how much guard gauge is accumulated when defending against attacks, Faust being the best, and Milia and Zato being the worst, with a significant difference. Ranking 11 is normal throw overall. Again, Potemkin tops the charts, being assessed by damage and interval. It's noted that even with similar damage, the interval makes a difference in ranking, and characters like Potemkin and Chip are far apart due to this. Ranking 12 focuses on weight, and Potemkin is again number 1. This weight ranking is different from jump-related weight, and refers to how easily a character falls when hit in the air, affecting air combo possibilities. The page emphasizes that these stats are for reference, and using your favorite character is still the most important thing. This page continues the Guilty Gear X coverage, moving on from the previous page's character rankings to showcase fan submissions in the GXG Guilty Gear X Gallery Illustration Corner. You can see artwork of Soul Bad Guy, KY Kisuke, Mei, Milia Rage, Dizzy, and Anji Mito, amongst others, sent in by readers. There's a Talking in GGX Talk Corner, which seems to be answering player questions, likely about strategies and tips for Guilty Gear X. The Topic GGX Strategy Guide section promotes the official Guilty Gear X Dreamcast Guidebook. Highlighting it includes everything from basic system explanations to character-specific strategies aimed at both beginners and advanced players. It emphasizes its value as a comprehensive Bible for fans. The page also features a matchup bingo section mentioning playing Guilty Gear X at arcades in Ikebukuro, and teases next week's announcement of towel and bandana prize winners. This page is diving deep into advanced combo techniques for Moyo, Justice Gakuen, which is known internationally as Project Justice. It's highlighting what it calls maniac combos that take advantage of the game's systems and allow for impressive strings of attacks, dubbing these specific combos as Justice and Courage 3 Platoon combos. The page details a few combo examples, one starting with a chain of weak punches and crouch weak punches, leading into strong punches and kicks, and finishing with a sleeve platoon. Another combo is showcased starting with a crouching weak kick into a strong punch, then repeated crouch weak punches, and a crouch strong kick, repeated 3 times, ending with more weak punches. There's also a variation involving a standing strong kick, back strong kick, and a super move, butterfly leg, into an airburst. Finally, there's a section focusing on Hayato's bamboo sword drop technique, explaining how to perform it using lever and strong punch inputs after launching an opponent into the air. The page also promotes a Project Justice's strategy guidebook, promising perfect strategies, character move analysis, and information on the burning, hot-blooded youth diary mode. The book is advertised as being released in early January for 1,600 yen with 232 all-color pages. This page continues the strategy guide for Project Justice. It now focuses on character-specific tactics for Bowman and Iwa, highlighting how to use Bowman as a partner and his effective short airburst combo and uppercut trap techniques. For Iwa, it discusses utilizing his speed with weak kicks and reach with weak punches. The guide also covers evolving Iwa's combo technique too, by varying attack patterns to keep opponents guessing and maximizing the power of his 2-platoon attack by incorporating dashes after weaker hits. Screenshots and combo notations are provided to illustrate these strategies for both characters. This page is a guide for the Dreamcast game Boku Doraemon. The aim of the game is to increase Nobita's trust to shape his future, and encourages players to complete the Gadget Encyclopedia by collecting all 152 gadgets. The article explains the ending branching system and the second year of gameplay, noting that the ending changes based on the relationship level achieved in the first year, leading to either a happy or bad ending in the second year. A detailed schedule is provided for the first half of the first year up to September, acting as a walkthrough to guide players, especially for the first year and for collecting items. Specific events like Giant's Recital in February, which occurs at the empty lot, and Peaceful Weeks in July, described as free mode weeks for recovery, are also highlighted. These free weeks in July allow the player to recover stamina. This page is all about online events for the Dreamcast game Guru Guru Onsen. It's promoting 2 online tournaments. The first is the Latte Valentine Cup in Gather Guru Guru Onsens, running from February 1st to 4th. It's a 7-card stud poker tournament, with joker cards allowed, and at least 8 rounds per match. Prizes include a case of Ghana chocolate for the winner, a set of latte chocolates for second place and a different set for third, and a confectionery set for participation via lottery. The second event is the At Lawson 21st Century Cup, happening on January 29th until 9 a.m. This one is a mahjong tournament, with Zaku Zaku rules, and at least 8 matches. The grand prize is 30,000 yen worth of Lawson gift certificates. Second place gets 20,000 yen certificates, and participation prizes are Lawson original straps via lottery. There are also sections titled Director Otaki's Onsen Diary, where he talks about being busy with his director job and jokes about finding love in onsen. Another section is Your Simple Questions Wanted, which is asking for questions related to Guru Guru Onsen and offers a present for those who send in questions. Finally, it details how to join the Dreamaga Onsen Union by sending a postcard with personal details to the Dreamcast Magazine editorial department. This page is a Dreamcast Waku Waku present special, featuring Take-Chan's Big Belly New Year's present special, offering a range of prizes. It showcases various present items, including Love Hina keychain figures and Hot Spring figures, Sakura Wars 2 keychain figure memorial collection, Sega Collection plush toys volumes 1 and 2, and Samba de Amigo plush Varink 2. There's a section highlighting a New Century Evangelion revival, with Neon Genesis Evangelion Asuka Langley special plush, Kobo-chan Super Jumbo Yukipon plush, Scene plush assortments, and Doraemon bath buzzers. The 1-2-month prize list details general prizes available during January and February, featuring characters like Anpanman, Sanrio characters, Sesame Street, Teddy Bear 2001, and Looney Tunes. It also mentions Love Hina keychain figure Varying 2 and Battleturb, Tap, Super Jumbo plush as prizes. The page provides details on how to enter the prize draw, and the deadline is February 2nd. This page is all about Warm Disney Winter Breakthrough, and it's another present page, this time showcasing Disney prizes. You've got Mickey and Minnie Super Jumbo Fluffy plushies and Ohina-sama dolls, along with Pusan Moko Moko fleece plush toys. There's also a Mickey Mouse Hot Pot set, Nightmare Before Christmas fleece jackets, and Mickey Mouse Tea Ceremony steamers up for grabs. The prize list for January and February features a range of Disney merchandise including Pusan and Mickey Mouse items, with mentions of Toy Story 2 and 101 Dalmatians. The comic strips with Coney and Takshan discuss these prizes as New Year's gifts, continuing the prize theme from the last page. This page features a cheerful New Year greeting from Dorimaga no Dora-chan for the new year. The page then shifts focus to the Dreamcast game, Fighting Vipers 2. It mentions this title is a revival of the arcade masterpiece on Dreamcast, 3 years after its initial arcade release, boasting that the Dreamcast version is a perfect port of the arcade experience. The page also points out that hidden conditions for the game have already been revealed, and by reading this week's article in conjunction with the previous issue, players can further enjoy the game. There is also a highlighted move from Fighting Vipers 2, the Iron Mountain Elbow, explaining its command input and effect in gameplay. Lastly, there's an enthusiastic exclamation directed at Sega, seemingly urging them to release even more games. This review of Fighting Vipers 2 focuses on gameplay features and humorous elements. It praises the game's evolution, specifically the ability to assign commands to buttons for complex inputs like K+G. The review highlights a hidden mechanic with Honey. A 30-win streak breaks her armor and alters her appearance, prompting a comical reaction. Another feature involves a picky skirt turning event, triggered by a 10-win streak on a specific stage. The reviewer also notes the effectiveness of the G and A command, making the game accessible even to beginners. The Sokai Heaven stage receives enthusiastic praise for its flashy direction and fun factor. The review concludes with a general invitation to enjoy the game, mentioning a pan-armor death state finish
and the characters Dora-chan, a cosplay enthusiast, and Megadori, a gaming senior.
This page is from the Guru Guru Dreamer manga series, episode 31, titled Children of the Wind Harbor by Uekusa. It introduces the main characters, and then shows a short comic strip. The characters introduced are Guru Guru, a first-year junior high school student aiming to be a distinguished scientist. He loves making creatures, and his hobby is creating them. Usagi, a rabbit-type creature made of gel-like cells by Guru Guru. It is intelligent and possesses common sense exceeding its owner. Aoi Obasan and Aoi Oi-san, described as older brother and sister-type creations by Guru Guru to be his assistants. They are human-faced creatures and considered different personalities to the owner, Aoi-chan.
Mai-san, a popular idol at school from the prestigious Izumishuin family. She is described as perfect and admired by Guru Guru. Ayase-kun, a boy obsessed with mechanics, described as a mechamania. He loves tsuru tsuru teka teka, smooth and shiny things, and sees Guru Guru as a rival. Yu-chan, described as Ayase-kun's creation for fighting Guru Guru, is Prake type, and its settings are according to Ayase-kun's preferences. Quote, Akuma-kun, Guru Guru's pet, given by Okinawa teacher, maid wife. Said to bring happiness and is a charm, but its effect is unknown. The comic strip depicts the characters playing outdoors with a remote-controlled car, which Guru Guru controls. They discuss going to fly a kite, and then decide to eat hot pot together, as it is cold and they are hungry. They end up eating hot pot indoors.
This week's Dreamcast astrology horoscopes offer advice for each zodiac sign. Aries should persevere, Taurus should deepen relationships, and Gemini should test their limits. Cancer faces potential relationship and work challenges, requiring direct communication. Leo needs to relax and rely on others. Virgo experiences luck outside of romance, while Libra needs to adjust their goals.
Scorpio should manage finances carefully, especially when traveling. Sagittarius should prioritize health. Capricorn will receive good news but should be cautious. Aquarius needs to communicate clearly to seize opportunities. Pisces should learn from mistakes and refocus. Each sign also has a lucky color and item. This page is showcasing reader presents from Dreamcast Magazine, including software and original merchandise. Prize A offers a demo disc featuring Aero Dancing Eye and Powerjet Racing 2001. Prize B is Dreamcast software, which will be 15 copies of any Dreamcast game released by February 2001. Prize C is the Mercurius Pretty End of the Century official guide and software set, with 3 sets available. Prize D includes the Phantasy Star Online navigation guide and software set, also with 3 sets available. Prize E is an original Dreamcast business card case, with 10 available. Prize F is an original Dreamcast t-shirt, also for 10 winners. Prize G is a Dreamcast Magazine monthly best telephone card, Tricolor Cruise, for 25 winners. The next issue of Dreamcast Magazine is previewed for February 16th, highlighting Super Scoop information and a DC Strategy Perfect catalog, mentioning Naomi games, Capcom special content, and Valentine's Day special projects and present campaigns. Titles mentioned are Shenmue 2, Segaga, Street Fighter 03, J-League Pro Soccer Club Otsukuru, Sakura Wars, Handled Sword, Fighting Championship, Eldorado Gate Volume 3, Echo the Dolphin Defender of the Future, Golf Lemmings, Fighting Vipers 2, Giga Wing 2, Sakatsuku Special Stadium, Guilty Gear X, and Moiru, Justice Gakuen. The page also lists staff credits for the magazine.
This page is an advert for a demo disc featuring Aero Dancing Eye and Powerjet Racing 2001 that is being given away. The demo disc is being promoted at stores across Japan as part of a campaign. There is also mention of a National Dogfight Championship 2001 event being held at 40 game stores. The advert lists many game store names across various regions of Japan where the demo disc can be obtained. This page is an advertisement for the Dreamcast game Angel Present. It is advertised as a heartfelt story for you who cannot forget your dreams. The game is a fantasy adventure and was scheduled to be released on February 22, 2001, Thursday, at a standard price of 6,800 yen. The advertisement features artwork of 2 anime-style girls with wings. There are also smaller images at the bottom showing scenes from the game featuring various characters. The developer is credited as Studio OX/NEC Interchannel/Humex, with illustration by Kisaki Norihiko.